Buff Nation, what's going on? To all my BWBs, how you doing today? Happy belated 4th of July. Thank you for joining me today. You are now watching TLP Sports Club. This is TLP Live. I am your host, Harry Billion. So welcome to the show today. This is it's Friday, guys. It's July 5th, Friday. Excuse me. And today's show, guys, we've been talking about in the last couple of weeks, we've been talking about Colorado's path to that Big 12 championship. And like I said, we are going down the list of the Big 12 schedule or the Big 12 teams, because these teams we have to eventually meet, right? God willing, we get to that championship game, we're going to have to meet one of these teams. So this is our opportunity while we're in preseason to go over the entire Big 12 schedule, all of the teams, and I want to give you some key details, some key attributes of each team in the Big 12. We're also going to look at their schedule so that you can see the strength of their schedule. You can compare them to the strength of Colorado's schedule. All right. You can see if Colorado has a chance or a small path. We don't know what's going to happen this season. But somewhere in the data, you should be able to ascertain, insert a word, insert an adjective. You should be able to kind of understand if Colorado has a path or not. All right. Now, the reason why I like doing this is because I get guys who come on the show and they come on the panel and they help me out. And some of these guys, they understand, they understand the Big 12. They understand the different teams. They've been watching long enough and they're able to help me out to have this conversation about each team. So that's why I like this series. We've been doing this for a couple of weeks now. And I will tell you, this is one of my favorite conversations to have about these teams, because it actually shows you whether there is a path. Some of these teams are strong. So we go into their schedule, we go into the actual team, and we show you their transfer portal movements, their 5 strongest guys, right? 5 guys that you should be watching for, the different changes that they've made on their teams, and that gives you more of an understanding on what type of team this is in case we have to face this team. So that's what we're going to do today. It is Free for All Friday, and if you are accustomed to this show, if you're used to coming on to the show or watching the show, you will know that Free for All Friday means that when a conversation comes up, we will try to lean into that conversation. It is football talk after all. It's college football talk. So this is what we do here. All right. We have a good conversation. If it gets heated, it gets heated. But we try to put Colorado, we try to give Colorado its due respect. And we give the other teams their due respect as well. So that's what we do here. I'm biased because it's my show, but I believe this is one of the best shows. This is one of the best or most unbiased shows that you're going to see. Even though I'm a Colorado fan, I try to make sure that I give you enough data on both sides so that you can decide for yourself how you think Colorado is going to fare off with all of these teams in the Big 12. All right. And if you are a Colorado fan, if you are a bandwagon buff, all right, and basically bandwagon buff only means that you just got here because of Coach Prime and you want to be a Colorado fan just like the rest of us. You didn't know Colorado before. You couldn't even plot Colorado on the map. But here you are with the rest of us, all right? And I just want to let you know, if you are a new fan, don't let nobody shame you online. And I know the connotation bandwagon buff or bandwagon, it really doesn't, it has that bad connotation. But guess what? Here on this channel, on this YouTube channel, and in this community, this is a really big community, and we hold each other up. So don't feel no shame. We're not ashamed to call ourselves bandwagon buffs. All right, that's what we are. We just said, okay, you know what? We're going to embrace the fact that we just found Colorado because of Coach Prime, and we are not going to allow nobody to shame us. So here we are. We call ourselves bandwagon buffs around here, and it's okay. I just wanted to just spend time talking about football without having to deal with the constant badgering, the constant laughing clown emojis. Ha 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 ha. Did you know about Colorado before? So I say, listen, I did not know about them before, but I know about them now. And I would challenge anybody in college football, anybody, I don't care who it is, who says they're a Colorado fan or another fan of another base, about the information that we have here at TLP Sports Club and the information that I provide here on this channel. I would challenge anybody because I feel like the information that my channel is really about the education of the sport, letting people who just came to college football know about college football, going through the Big 12. At this point, we know so much about the Big 12 that I would challenge anybody to test our gangsters around here. Go ahead and test us and see. Even though we just got here, test us and see. And we'll put you to shame. I promise you. I put anything on it, you will be put to shame if you are somebody who thinks you're going to come over here on this here channel in this community and flex on anybody here, especially people who have been watching the videos. All right? If I put a video out, I'm not trying to clickbait you. I'm trying to make sure that you understand the Big 12, you understand the data that goes into each team and how they're moving and stuff like that. So you can feel comfortable when you watch these videos. All right, I know some of y'all just looking for Coach Prime daily news and daily information, but I challenge you, watch these videos that I put out because I'm trying to make sure that you have enough information so when you go into some of these arguments or some of these debates or on some of these panels, you will have enough information to hold your own. You will be able to have a legit conversation, even though you are a BWB. And you can literally watch my videos, and if you knew nothing about college football, you can have a good conversation about the Big 12 and about what's going on with Colorado. Sometimes when the news comes out, I do a video about it, but I just decided, you know what? That's not my niche. That is not my thing. I'm not quick enough like the other channels out there to be doing all of the breaking news. So I said, let me carve out a little lane for myself and see how I can help this constituency, see how I can help this Colorado fan base. And for those of us who don't really know college football that well, and this is my little lane that I have carved out for myself, is to provide information about the Big 12, about Colorado, about the team, the young men, enough information so you can have a legit college football conversation. So I consider my channel the data channel. I consider my channel the historian channel. You will learn everything you have to know about the team, previous coaches, Carr Durrell, all right, Midnight Mel. If you want to know about the 3 prior coaches to Coach Prime, I have made videos for all of that. I'm telling you, my channel is really dedicated to making you a well-rounded college football fan. And even if you're already a fan, I challenge you also to watch the videos because there are information in my videos that actually helps you to understand this team and information that you may not have already known. I promise you there is information, there's something for everybody in all of my videos. And then when I go live on Monday, we call it Monday Night Football around here. And then on Fridays, I get a panel of people, or sometimes I get panels. Sometimes I have to do it by myself. But I get people we can just have a good conversation around college football. That's who I am. That's my little niche. And I'm proud of it. All right. And I'm grateful that people help me out here. So if you are one of those people and you want to join the conversation, my information, let me use this finger because I always miss it. My information is right there. If you want to join the panel, all right, is jointlplive@gmail.com. That is the email address. jointlplive@gmail.com is the email. You email me, I send you the link. You come on to the panel. I will see you right here on my computer in the green room. and then I'll click on it. We can have a great conversation. And the show, I would just say, you know what? I'm just going to concede that the show is a 2-hour show because the information that we provide is a little hard to get into 1 hour. So I have to now concede to say, you know what? The show is going to be a 2-hour show, and I'm going to try to cut it off at 2 hours because at 2 hours, people can watch it afterwards. When people see like 5-6 hours, they're like, nah, I'm not watching that long of a show. But we have a lot of fun here, and we are a community. And before we get into the show today, I will say, let me say this. My channel may not have the biggest numbers out there, but I will let you know that this is the safest. This is one of the safest places. Let me not say the safest. All right, let me be humble. This is one of the safest communities to come and talk college football. Not just Colorado, especially. This is a Colorado constituency. This is a Colorado fan base, but this is one of the safest places where you're going to talk, where you can come and have a good conversation without foul language, without a whole bunch of things gyrating going on. This is one of the safest places where you can come. And it does get contentious. Don't get me wrong. All right, we ain't no kumbaya over here. You got to know your stuff. But even if you don't know your stuff and you still want to join the conversations, this is one of the safest places to do it without me trying to shame you or anything like that. And if you don't know anything, I try to make sure to, control the chat, control the panel to make sure that nobody puts anybody to shame here because that's not what I'm about. That's not my character. And that's what I try to make sure that I make sure this community is safe for you to have a conversation. All right. So with all of that being said, guys, you want to join the conversation, join tlplive@gmail.com is the email. Join tlplive@gmail is right there on your screen, and it's screen left, top of your screen, okay? I'm going to have to take this email off real soon because I have data to be showing today. So Arizona is on the menu, all right? Now, at the end of every show, I tell you who the next team is going to be so you can do a little bit of research, and I believe somebody has done their research because they are ready to go. They are ready to come call into the show. And let me bring my guy, DC Carson Music. DC, what's up with you, brother? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you, man.
What up, everybody? Harry, chat, how y'all doing?
I'm good, man. I'm good. Hey, man, how was your 4th of July?
Did grill, did pop some stuff off, did relax, man. It was a wonderful time, even though in Alabama it's about just 2 degrees below hell. That's what I call it because it's that hot. But it's all good, man. We enjoying time out here.
2 degrees below hell, man. I don't think you know hell, brother.
I don't want to know it either. This is close as I hope to get.
If you're saying it's 2 degrees below hell, then I submit to you, you do not know hell. Because I think you're diminishing you're minimizing how hot it really is in hell. Because oh man, but I know you read your words, so I ain't gonna hold you to it. I'll forgive you for this one, okay?
Yeah.
Oh man, you ready to talk some football, man?
Let's do it.
So you did some homework on your on Arizona?
Yes.
I kind of give you the cheat sheet. I gave you the cheat sheet on Arizona already.
Yes, indeed. So let me preface this before we get started. I want to say that I'm going to say some complimentary things about Fafita, but I want folks to know right off the bat, I think Shedeur is more of an NFL ready college quarterback. And because you have to look at it, there's a difference between being good in college, like we saw Tim Tebow, and being good in the pros. So if you hear me give somebody a compliment, Brothers Fafita, it is not saying Shedeur isn't good. Shedeur is absolutely more. He's got the size, the accuracy, all the acumen for NFL. Fafita does not have that yet. But again, I know the thing is to look at, pipeline to the NFL, but we still in the pipeline when we talk about college. So we just got to keep that in mind.
DC, DC, the biggest problem I have with you is your prefaces. I don't know why you feel like you always have to preface everything. Like, bruh, just, it's okay. I don't know. I think people around here, they're mature now. So I don't know that you got to keep prefacing. Get rid of the preface and you and I are good. You don't have to preface nothing. Ain't nobody a child around here. And if they try to act like a child, you know we're going to put them in their place. So forget about all that preface and just do what you do. All right? No more preface. Just do you, bro. No, don't worry about it, okay?
Well, that's the same way you know how parents is that, you know, before you get that whooping, they got to sit there and say, this hurts me more than it hurts you before you whip that tail. Before you start tearing that tail up, this hurts me.
DC, man, look, I feel like we need to have real information, all right? We're gonna get that gut-wrenching feeling out in the preseason. We're not going to be surprised with anything, especially if you have been around this channel, if you watch the videos, if you watch any of the lives. We're not going to baby anybody around here, and we're not going to give you false hopes, false information. I've been accused of a lot of things, and I think my skin is tougher than goat meat right now, so it's okay. I would take the heat for anything that is said on here because I know what is said on here is in love. And it's out of respect for the team, for Coach Prime and what he's doing in Boulder. And everybody here wants the best for the team. So just don't worry about that, okay? Let me take the heat on that, okay?
Let's cook.
All right, let's cook. All right, so I gave you the cheat sheet. I made a whole video breaking down Colorado. I used Brian Howell's writings. Brian Howell is somebody that I respect highly. And I use his writing, and I gave you the cheat sheet for Arizona. So basically, if you watch that video, you should be ready. I know DC watched it. If you watch that video, you should be ready. So before we go to Arizona's schedule, let's start with the attributes, all right, good or bad, the transfer portal movement for Arizona. We'll give you Arizona's data, and then we'll go to Arizona's schedule, and we'll try to hash it out. So DC, you want to start us off? You got, I know you, before you do that, let's bring on Tennis. Tennis wants to come on. Give me a second. Give me a second, sir. Hey, Willie, what's up, brother? Thanks you for calling in. I appreciate you, brother.
Hey, I'm doing good. How you guys doing?
All is well.
DC, go ahead on and preference yourself, brother. Preference yourself, because that's the only thing that's going to save you.
Man. No more prefacing, man. I want DC to just feel. DC has been around here. I think a lot of people already know DC. DC, you know what I'm saying? When you guys come on the show so often, y'all are family here. You know what I'm saying? So I just want him to feel comfortable. Don't worry about what the comments say. If somebody calls you out of your name, call you anything other than what your mother called you, listen, it's all good. All right, this is football. Let it slip off. Let the oil of let the holy oil kind of infiltrate this conversation. Don't worry about it, man. All right, because people around here should already know DC. They know where DC heart is at. They know that DC supports Prime, and I want to have somebody whose opinions are unfiltered and can kind of give me some real college football data without trying to worry about what people are going to say about them. That's what I'm saying.
I know I'm messing with you, Harry, but DC, I'm messing with him too. And sometime on your show, man, we got to do that because people are so mad and they take things so personal. It's not just let them know at the end of your show. You should tell them, look, this is not personal.
Yeah. I know why DC do it. DC's trying to, he's trying to make sure that the fan base understand. He kind of he's helping me out, basically. He is helping me out, but I'm giving him the grace to let him know, hey, man, don't worry about it. We got you. We got you, man. If you got us, we got you, DC. All right? So now, hey, guys, let me put that email up one more time before we're about to get deep into the show. These conversations go pretty fast. I don't want nobody to get lost. So the email is right there. Before we get too deep into the show, if I don't check my email, I apologize if I don't let you onto the show. Excuse me. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. Join TLP Live at gmail.com. It is the email. So please go ahead and please go ahead and write it down because I'm going to have to take it off the screen. Go ahead and write it down, please. All right. Give me 1 second, guys. All right. So the email is right there. Let's get going. All right. So Willie, you were on the show last week. We previewed the team that was coming. Did you have I don't want to put you on the spot, but did you have an opportunity to do a little bit of research?
I did a lot of research. What was it? It was it Arizona or was it?
We're talking about Arizona today.
Okay, yeah, because I did a couple. I watched a couple of old videos.
Did you watch my video? Did you get a chance to watch mine?
Harry, no, Harry, you want me to do my own research, right?
Well, no, I'm saying I've done the research for you in that video.
I don't want you to spoil me, Harry. Don't spoil me.
Okay.
I love research. I love research.
Okay, that's fine. Okay, so but if you watch that video, I pretty much laid it all out for you. But all right, so Willie, I'm gonna start with you. Like, give me something that you know. Give me something you got about Arizona.
Okay, here's what I'm gonna go back to last year when we played Arizona. We should have whipped them, should have beat them, but the obvious thing was our defense. Offense, I'm going to give the offense some props that we should have beat them. That's some, and I some of this I learned different going back and watching the video again on how we played. The team that we need to show up, that's going to need to show up for all of the games, is the team that played TCU. That team that played TCU is going to have to be the team that beat anybody and everybody in the Big 12, because that was the landmark. As far as Arizona goes this year, maybe DC have a little bit more information on how many players in the portal. I didn't do the portal thing. Like I said, I was getting a whole lot of other stuff. So, but maybe DC has something to say about it on the portal and who they have coming in.
Willie, anything you got. Give me anything you got, and then we'll move on to DC. Whatever. If you got nothing, let me go to DC.
Okay, that's all I have right now.
All right, DC, go ahead. Tell me, give me some preliminary information about Arizona. What you got, and then we'll go into the nitty gritty.
All right. So if you watch Harry's video, which schooled me, that I did not know that Dino Barbers, who was the head coach of Syracuse, had moved over to Arizona as the offensive coordinator and actually had coached with the current coach there. I know that the thing, I'm prefacing things because I've been watching some of the conversations going on about how Arizona did against Colorado. I would challenge you guys to take a look at that. This is also the same Arizona team that almost beat Washington. So you have to consider that. You also have to consider this, that, I know that there are videos of people saying, well, T-Mac only did so many yards against Travis, but he had 170 yards and he had 1,400 yards for the season. So you just got to remember, well, he ain't got to beat just.
Who was T-Mac? Slow down, brother. You're going too fast. Who is T-Mac? Let's break this down for the people that don't know, please.
That is Tatario. Hopefully I'm saying it. Tatario McMillan. I hope I'm saying that right. Who was the wide receiver at Arizona? He had 90 receptions for 1,400 yards, 10 TDs, an average of 15.6 yards per catch. So the thing being is that, hey, he doesn't have to. You also got to look at one of the other receivers were able to do good, because T-Mac takes a lot of people double team T-Mac, just like, they try to come in there and double team Travis to keep him from being as good as he is. Mm-hmm. But I just could caution folks to understand that T-Mac you got to look at some of the other DBs he's gone up against. Dude, you don't get 1,400 yards.
DC, we're not cautioning right now. We're giving data. So you just
get 1,400 yards. All right. The other thing is you have Other thing is Noah Fafita. Last year he was the 6th ranked QBR. Had the 6th ranked QBR in in the nation. And with Pac-12, he initially was not a starter, but he came and he just did so well that he just kind of took over from that standpoint. Not very big in size, but definitely a very smart quarterback. He's been playing with McMillan since high school, so they got very good chemistry and synergy between them. This is while the team did lose their coach. They did get in some, and they lost some players. If you look on the portal, a lot of them transferred to Washington. They did get some very good pickups in. They filled some key holes, and I expect them to be pretty decent on defense. Definitely serviceable.
All right, so hold on, guys.
Mhm.
Cape Con, you gotta connect a device. You don't have to show your face, or you don't have to. Yeah, you don't have to show a photo, but you can show a photo, but you gotta connect the device. I see you in the chat. I see you in the green room, but there's nothing connected, so I can't click on your name. So just complete the process. Connect the device. All right, I need an audio device or something. Use your phone or use your computer or something so that I can bring you on. I do see you in the chat, but it says devices not connected. So Cape Con, if you can go ahead and connect that, then we can bring you on so that you can join the conversation. All right, so thank you, DC, for that information. Just let's clean it up, or let's clean up the information just a little bit, and let's go to, let me share my screen. That way we can give these people some solid information to hold on to. All right. All right. So again, I'm letting y'all know this information is coming from buffzone.com. This is written by Brian Howell. He is the writer over there. And for a lot of y'all who don't know Brian Howell, you may not be familiar with him. Trying to enlarge his photo. He puts out a lot of CU videos. This is Brian Howell right here. So salute Brian Howell. If you ever come across this information, I appreciate y'all. All right, so let's look at this information. Now, the one thing that we need to know is for a lot of the CU fans that don't know, keep in mind that Lamonius Craig, Montana Lamonius Craig, he was a former CU Buff. He was Shador's, he was a wide receiver, Shador's good friend, who right after he torched the DBs for, I believe it was like 100 and some yards or 200 yards in the spring game, he went over to he jumped into that transfer portal and went over to Arizona. And according to Brian Howell, when I was watching the games, I don't know that he was a starter. Oh, I didn't know he was a starter. But then, of course, I didn't have time to follow them after the CU games besides highlights. But yeah, so that's the team that Lamonius Craig is on. So I just want everybody to understand that. All right, so you were talking about T McMillan, right? The DC was talking about
Yes.
T McMillan.
Yes,
All right,
they got a pretty good running back too, but continue.
All right, there are 5 guys that everybody you should know about when you watch the game. There are 5 key players that you should know about. These 5 key players we're gonna start with they have a cornerback named Tacario Davis. The information on him, he finished second in the Pac-12 last year with 15 pass breakups, 6 more than those who tied for third on the list, and he earned second team all-conference honors. He also had 25 tackles and 1 interception. All right. The next player is going to be Noah Fafita. DC alluded to Noah Fafita earlier. Noah Fafita is going to be their starting quarterback. He came off the bench early last year, but he got into the game and he didn't let go. He basically kind of got into the game and he got it. Jaden Delore was the guy that was the starter, but Noah Fafita took over after Jaden got hurt, and there was no turning back. All right, Noah Fafita, he was the Pac-12 Offensive Freshman of the Year. He completed 72.4% of his passes. That is not a small number for you to don't cuff at that number. He completed 72.4% of his passes. If you think Shador's good, 72% is crazy. All right. Now that was a school record, by the way. He ended up with 2,869 yards. Obviously, Shador had more, but it was only because this is like he comes in game number 4. He played on and off, but game number 4, he comes in and almost gets 3,000 yards. All right, so I think Shador only played 2 games less than him. Well, no, Shador got hurt, so Well, yeah, it was like 2. I would say 2 games. So I guess if he has the 2 games, then he could catch Shador's numbers. Shador would have played 2 more games than him, I believe. He had 25 touchdowns, and he only had 6 interceptions. All right? So with him in the game, Arizona went 7-2. He only had 9 starts. So think about that. That's incredible. Those are incredible numbers. And from a true freshman. This kid was a true freshman coming in. Now, we pivot a little bit to go over to Nebraska. We're also talking about Dylan Raiola, who is also a true freshman. And I know some of our analysis, we're like, I'll make fun of him because I call him Ravioli on this channel. And I'm like, he ain't really going to be that great. I don't believe. Now, obviously, you can look at Max Duggan from TCU in 2022, who was a unicorn. And then you look at Dylan Raiola in 2023. I guess you can call him another unicorn. But the question now becomes, is Ravioli going to be a unicorn also? Is he going to be the great white hope? We don't know, right? It's only yet to be seen, but at least we understand that the data is there, that don't cough on freshman quarterbacks because you got Fafita, who also did it. All right. And then our next guy to look for, these, we're going over 5 guys to look for when you are watching that Arizona versus Colorado games. All right. And if you just joined, the first one was a cornerback to Cario Davis. The second one was Noah Fafita, their starting quarterback. He's going to be a sophomore this year. And then we come to their linebacker, Jacob Manu. Now, he was a sophomore last year. He led the Pac-12 in tackles. Let's repeat that for some people. Their linebacker, Jacob Manu, led the Pac-12 in tackles. The Pac-12, one of the best conferences in college football last year. All right. I know when I say those words, it doesn't hit certain people that well because everybody thinks, oh, SEC. All right. Pac-10, Big 10. I'm sorry, not Pac-10. SEC, Big 10. So when you say, one of the best, it don't hit people that well. But the Pac-12 was indeed one of the best conferences in college football last year. That's 2023. Now, he had 116 tackles, and he earned first-team all-conference honors. All right? First-team all-conference honors. He also had 9.5 tackles for loss, 6.5 sacks, and then he had 13 quarterback hurries and 1 interception. The quarterback hurries is something for you to key in on, because when you're talking about an accurate quarterback, right? You got somebody like Shador. If somebody's going to make him hurry up and change his direction, that is a key attribute that you want to make sure that you key in on, because if we have somebody like that on our team and we can say, okay, can he give us that 13 from 2023? Can he give us that 13? If he can give us that 13 and even increase it just a little bit more to 15, we're like, oh yes, come on, BJ Green. Was it DJ? Is BJ Green or DJ Green? My brain is too much information. I think it's DJ. Is it BJ? DC, are you here? BJ Green. My bad. I got a lot of information, guys. I'm trying to keep all the information kind of organized.
Hey, I'm gonna tell you right now. If you had I'll tell you right now firmly. If they had a linebacker like that, Colorado would have went. You would have won at least 6 games, if not more. At least.
I agree.
I'm just telling you, because you got somebody that can cover but can come up and hit. You would not have had why am I saying the Stanford thing? Because he was killing you on that one. You got that linebacker cheating over. Yes, you would have got 6 wins.
That's true. Because look, I'm talking about the dude is like, he's put up 13 quarterback hurries. 13 quarterback hurries is not, and then leading the Pac-12 in tackles. 116. And our best linebacker, that's Who was that? That was Bentley, Levante Bentley. All right, Levante Bentley, well, our best one that we got left, right? He had 40 solo tackles. I forgot what the number is, but it was not. He didn't hit I think he had 70 something tackles overall. This guy has 116 tackles. All right. So that's their linebacker, Jacob Manu. All right. Wide receiver, Tektoro McMillan. All right. Tektoro McMillan. He caught 90 passes, and I have to correct this because on the video, I slipped up and I said 9 passes. Sometimes when you have to read these things and you're reading like for so long, your brain kind of slips up. But I said 9 passes for 1,400 yards. But he caught 90 passes for 1,402 yards. He had 10 touchdowns last year. He averaged 15.6 yards per catch, and he earned 13 All-American honors from the Associated Press. And for those of you who don't know the Associated Press, they're the group of writers or the writing team, the writing association or whatever that kind of like ranks that their ranking is the one that the publication is their ranking is the one that college football uses. All right. So if you're ranked if you're AP ranked preseason or during the season or postseason, then I think that is the DC. You can correct me if I'm wrong. But that's pretty much the holy grail, right?
Yeah, that's pretty good.
Yeah, so I'm not gonna put down anybody like Joe Klatt's rankings or CBS rankings or any polls or anything like that. I'm just saying the Associated Press is where most people go for that final information. All right, so in 2 seasons of college football, both at Arizona, he has 129 catches for 2,104 yards and 18 touchdowns. I mean, can y'all let me know in the chat or DC or tennis? 2,000 yards in 2 years is pretty remarkable. Is that right or is that wrong?
I'm not impressed.
Of course you're
not impressed. And I'm gonna tell you why when you finish. Why I'm not impressed with all of these guys you've given. I've been thinking.
I can't hear you. Speak up, please. What'd you say?
I said I'm not impressed, and I'm going to tell you why. Out of all these guys you've given, I'm tell you why I'm not impressed. Go, keep going.
Okay, but anyway, so what? I don't know why you're not impressed with 2,000 yards, but okay.
No, I'm not.
If we had a wide receiver in 2 years to have 1,000 to average at least 1,052 yards every year. Yo, that's amazing. Okay. Like every year you guarantee, not guarantee, but you know that this guy's gonna at least gonna give you 1,000 yards per that season. That's impressive. And then finally, guys, the final guy to look for when you are watching Arizona versus Colorado is defensive end Trey Smith. All right, he's a transfer from San Jose State. He earned first-team All-Mountain West honors last season as a redshirt sophomore, and he has 66 tackles. And the closest match, he was not a defensive end, but I don't know how our defensive ends did, so I don't have that number. Sorry for that. He had 66 tackles, 9.5 tackles for loss, and 6.5 sacks. 6.5 sacks. So take the 56 sacks that Colorado Shador had. He had 6.5 of those by himself. All right. He had 89 tackles and 9.5 sacks in his collegiate career. DC, I know that my tennis is not impressed because he's been playing too much tennis.
I'm gonna tell you why.
He ain't been watching enough football to be impressed with those numbers. But let me hear your thoughts first before I go to tennis on how impressive those numbers are.
Those are solid numbers. I mean, they had a pretty solid defense last year. But him coming in, all Mountain West, we'll see how he can match up to the Big 12, where you're going to have a lot of runners, but some serious runners. But I think that's pretty good.
All right. So Tennis, go ahead and let us know why you're not impressed with those numbers.
Okay, here's one of the reasons why. While the numbers are impressive and within your data and your report, it tells you how great this guy is. How wonderful. Oh, look at all of the athletes. He's an athlete. Yeah, he did this, he did this, he did this. We ain't going to beat him or beat the team on his greatness. We're going to beat the team on his weaknesses. So I'm going to make that my side of what you're doing, if I can, add to it.
Hey, Tennis, before your smooth and milky soliloquy that you're doing, just keep in mind that we also report on Colorado's numbers. So if you're going to scoff on these numbers, keep in mind you got to scoff on Shador's numbers, Travis Hunter's numbers. You got to scoff on all the numbers all around. This is not just about Arizona.
I'm scoffing on the data of today. I'm not going to say incomplete because I know you work real hard on it. But I'm going to say on the data that's presented to me, that should be part of the data too. Am I correct? The data? The data that I'm saying right now, shouldn't that be part? Okay, well, how many drop passes? Does he drop? What are some of his tendencies? Do we get into that? Because that's also information too.
I mean, yeah, I could give you his mother's maiden name and all of that, but that's not the point here.
I don't want
what the heck are we talking about here?
I know. I know.
Was his girlfriend, bro? Did his girlfriend break up with him right before the game? Willie, this is not the point. The whole idea of these numbers is to show you the production that this person had last year so that you can see what type of player with the type of strength that this player has. So, I mean, yeah, there's a lot of data that you can go into. Did he brush his teeth before he goes to bed? I don't care about all of that stuff. The only stuff that is registered on these numbers, the only stuff that is registered is, number one, when you have an all-conference player, right? If Colorado had an all-conference linebacker, first team all-conference, when you scoff on that information, no, you wouldn't. You would say that's a legit person because keep in mind that we had I think it was DJ the other DJ from Florida. I forget his name real quick, but the other DJ from Florida, and he went back to Florida. His numbers were so impressive that people were looking at Colorado differently right before he changed his mind and went back to Florida. All right, so I don't know what.
So am I supposed to be afraid of him because he's got those impressive numbers? Oh, and he's this great receiver, and he's going as a player now. As a player and a former player, okay. I don't give a D about his accomplishments. He's gonna have to.
Willie, do you know what we're doing on this show today?
I know. You're
killing me here.
I'm just giving you. I want to kill you. I want to give you a little bit of pushback on it because
it ain't no pushback. There's no reason to push back because you're not. Listen. Willie, let me tell you what we're doing. There's no reason to push back. Okay, I'm not telling you that this is the information that's going to beat Colorado. I didn't say that. I'm giving you the data so that these are the key attributes for their team so you can understand who they got on their team. Remember, this series is about Colorado's path to victory in the Big 12 championship. That's what we're looking at. So I didn't tell you that this information is to beat Colorado. I'm just giving you the information. So I don't know where your pushback is coming from or what data point you're using to say, let me push back. I never said that they're going to beat Colorado. It's important for us to get the information on each team. All right. So anyways, we got to move on, White Willie, because you're pushing back on nothing here. You got nothing to push back on. We give you the data. Now, I want everybody to understand that this is where the information is coming from when it comes to how we are looking at each team and how it's going. CBSSports.com preseason ranked the Big 12 and all of the teams in the Big 12. So at the end of the day, we're looking at, okay, so we already looked at Utah. We looked at Kansas State. We looked at Kansas. Oklahoma was Monday. And now we are doing Arizona. Let me give you the Arizona information, even though we just pretty much just did that. But based on what based on what CBS Sports says, the Wildcats are ranked number 5 in their preseason ranking. The Wildcats were one of the most underrated stories in the country last season, jumping from 1-11 to 10 wins in just 2 seasons on the arm of quarterback Noah Fafita and receiver Texiora McMillan. If Coach Jetfish, who is now at Washington, and the full roster return in 2024, the Wildcats might rank number 1 in the league. Still, even after a few key losses in the transfer portal, new coach Brett Brennan has Arizona sitting in a great spot to contend for the conference. Trust me, Willie, you're going to have a chance to push back all you want, but right now we're just giving our information. So take off your Colorado shades and your Coach Prime earbuds for a second. Let's just give the people what they need, which is the information, and then we can argue the information later. All right, so let's look at. Give me 1 second, guys. Let's go ahead and look at their schedule, and now we get into the nitty gritty. Let's do wins and losses and the strength of their schedule.
Harry, while you transition, I want to point something out. Notice that they had Arizona at 5, but Iowa State at 6, and that they'll call Iowa State a sleeper. The key thing you're looking at is that Iowa State, as well as Arizona, have some pretty decent QB play. Again, you always want to hear me say you don't have that. We all know having a good quarterback definitely makes you competitive. So I would say for me, another one, the 3 sleeper teams I do see within the Big 12 before we get to the schedule is Iowa State and UCF. But I won't call Arizona a sleeper because you should be prepared to play a team like that because they can score on you. I just think that we don't know because of their coach how as well as some of the defense transferred out. We don't know how big that drop off is, but don't be surprised if it's still a good team. There's a reason why they're up there that high.
All right. All right, so now we're about to jump into this schedule. The reason for this schedule is we want to see how strong their schedule is because we may meet this team. Arizona, let me just put this on the record. I'm not a believer. All right. I said that in the video. I am not a believer of Arizona. I felt like they got lucky. And it's just me. And I'm sorry, all the Arizona fans. I apologize to your fan base. Do I really apologize? I don't care. But whatever. I'm not a believer. This is the year that y'all gotta make me a believer. And unfortunately, you did lose 9 players to the transfer portal, or 9 players that actually went over to Washington with their coach Jet Fish, which is kind of greasy though. Let's sidetrack a little bit and talk about that. When a coach leaves and he takes 9 players, is that poaching? Is that can they do that?
Well, they bought in Louis Luggage. He took his Louis Luggage with him. Come on, guys. Just call him what it is. He took some of his hey, they were 10-3. He took some of his Louis Luggage. That happens. Let's just let it roll.
Oh, but I guess on a technical aspect, from a technical aspect, I want to know that's okay for the coach to do. It's not the same if he was already the coach there to take players with him. It's not the same as if a coach was on the outside looking in.
Yeah. You used to not be able to do that, but then the portal rules changed. If a coach leaves, they said that players should be allowed to leave. Other than that, you still would have had Shador and Travis stuck at JSU. But yes, that's a new rule that recently came out that allows that to happen. And
no. I know about the rule. When if a coach leaves, the players, I believe, has 30 days. They can reopen up their thing and they can leave. However, I'm saying, can they leave and go to the same coach, the same team that the coach is leaving to go to?
Yeah. Yes.
Okay. All right. Cool.
Because Kalen DeBoer took people from Washington and brought them to Bama. Yeah, you absolutely can do that.
Okay. So that's part of the rule. All right, guys. So we're about to get into the schedule. Let's bring on our other guys from the panel. Hey, Tim Smith, what's up with you, brother? Happy 4th of July or happy belated?
What's up, Harry? What's up, Tennis?
You in that Texas area, so y'all take 4th of July real serious. So you know what I'm saying. I had to say salute to you, my guy.
I mean, they take it serious, but
Oh,
that's a
you don't
whole
take it
nother.
serious?
No,
You're like, look,
no.
I'm just a black man trying to live. Okay, that's
I celebrate Juneteenth, but it's all good.
okay. Okay, I feel what you say. I see what you're doing with there. Okay, hey man, how you feeling about Arizona? Any is there any information you got about Arizona you want to drop before we move on and we start looking at the schedule?
No, everything that y'all stated, man, sounded good to me. I don't really have anything extra to add to that.
All right, cool. So we're gonna be now. We're going over to the schedule now. It's on your screen for those who are watching on the through the media through the audio only. I believe we have YouTube has a podcast, so most people some people watch it through podcast audio. But we are looking at the screen right now. We're looking at Arizona's schedule. So, guys, if you talk about the teams, make sure you say the name so that people who are just watching, listening on audio, so they can know what we're talking about because we are privy to visuals. All right. So the first team that we're looking at on their schedule is okay. Before we do that, let me ask y'all: is this what you said? This is a tough schedule or this is an okay schedule? Let me get y'all opinions on the schedule. What are your thoughts? Let me go to you, DC. Let me go to you first.
That is a probably on a scale of difficulty from 1 to 10. I would say that is a 7.
I'll give it a 6.5.
All right. So what do you
Willie,
think? What did you say, Willie?
I'll give it a 6.5. It's not a very strong schedule. The toughest team they have in there, if you go from the toughest team, would be shoot. Hold on.
well, no, Kansas
Would
State,
be
Texas,
would Kansas
Utah,
Kansas State.
and,
I'll just give them
and
Texas.
West
I'll give them
Virginia.
Kansas State. That's about the
You
toughest.
got Texas. They got the Red Raiders in there too, and you got Colorado on there. You got UCF on there. Shoot,
Oh yeah, that 7 again. 7. That's a
yeah,
tough
like you
one.
got y'all sleeping on TCU because of their last year, but I wouldn't sleep on TCU at all.
I'm
I'm
not
telling you,
sleeping on them.
yeah, I'm not sleeping on TCU, and I'm telling you,
I'm not sleeping on them either.
TCU is
No.
going to be a. I'm telling you, they only lost. They won 5 games. All right. And the other games that they lost them by almost like 2-3 points. And I'm telling you, TCU, their coach is I like that guy. He's the most classiest coach. And when everybody was kind of wailing on Coach Prime last year, he was the classiest. He had the best things to say. It was not like the best things to say, but he was just a neutral guy. He just wanted to talk football. And I respect that guy. He's a really good coach. And it's not because he has something good to say about Coach Prime, but because if you watch the video that I did about him, I did a video on him. His coaching record, yo, I was like, oh shoot, this guy is a coach. All right,
Hey,
Okay,
let me
but
throw
wait,
something
but
else in
we
there real quick.
yeah, go ahead.
On top of that, TCU has the ability to get guys from the within the state of Texas, and it's a lot of good players in the state of Texas. Uh, so they got kids in their backyard that can play now.
Hmm.
Most of these schools out here, man, are 6A schools, so they big schools. So these kids can play. They big, and some of them are ready to play now. So TCU is one of them teams, man. They got a lot of kids that they can pick from. So you can't underestimate TCU. They may have
okay,
had a bad season last season, but come out and just dominate this season.
Last year, you mean?
Yeah, last year.
okay, to add to that, Colorado beat TCU handily last year. Okay, this year
Willie,
we
it went
lost.
down to
No,
the
they
last.
didn't.
It went
Listen,
down
let,
to like the final. Go ahead. Yeah, they beat them. They
okay.
dogged them. Go ahead, Willie Cook.
Oh, okay, thank you, thank you. Okay, and we lost to Arizona. Was that Arizona we lost to? We lost to them by 3 points. And the last what? The last minute seconds of the game, 6.5.
But Willie, you said yourself the numbers don't always speak. You can't be on the weird side of the conversation. What side of the conversation you want to be on? You just scoffed at other numbers, but then you want to bring up Colorado's numbers. Okay, you know what, Willie?
Incomplete data. That's when you get incomplete data
Willie.
like that.
Willie.
You get some data, but you don't. Come on now, you got no.
But Willie, it's the only data that matters. CU's data. Like it's Colorado's data the only one that matters? Because it sounds like that's what you're doing right now.
No, I'm just being objective about the whole thing.
You just said they lost by 3 points, so that means that you think that data was important for us to know. If you're saying we only lost by 3 points, you said that data is important to know, right?
Consider that you were talking about TCU, and we wally mopped TCU last year.
We didn't wally mop them, just so you know.
The whole game we dominated.
Harry.
I just got to watching the game,
gosh.
guys. I just got to
Harry.
We need Willie on this panel. We need balance.
Harry, let me help you out. Today, Tennis Channel is being brought to you by Mad Dog 2020 and Hennessy.
Oh my God!
And Black and Mild. Get it on.
I just got to watching the TCU game.
Okay.
We dominated them the whole game.
Yes, Harry. He did. They did. Harry. They did.
Okay.
They did.
I'm just gonna let you know I was there. I was in the stadium. Okay, and it's not as you say. Let me just leave it there so we can move on. Let's take the first. Oh, come on, Willie. And you know what? We need Willie for balance. We need somebody on the far left, and we need somebody on the far right, and then somebody in the middle, like myself, who's I'll try to navigate. This is crazy.
So you trying to say?
Uh-oh.
That was TC.
DC, what was that burn sound? Anyway, DC, your audio just went. All right, DC, your audio just went, so you might have to click off and come back on. Okay, so you're good.
I think no, go ahead. But you were saying TCU mollywop them. Continue.
Is this Lobos or Labos? What is this? New Mexico Lobos?
Hey, check this out, Harry. One thing for sure, DC will not be watching Arizona play New Mexico Lobos at 10:30 on Eastern time. I'm going to be in the bed. What in the world? That's a horrible start time. Nobody will be watching that game other than the Lobos. That's it. That sucks. 10:30?
I don't know how many East Coast fans. I don't know how many East Coast fans Arizona or New Mexico has, but yeah, 10:30 p.m. Eastern time, and that's yeah. I mean, if you're not going to church in the morning, then you will stay up for that game because they don't start until 10:30 p.m. Like 10:30 p.m. Like, why? Why so late? Anyway, how do we have New Mexico Lobos versus Arizona? I say this is a W. This is an early W for them.
That's a capital W right there.
That's a capital W. Do you agree, Tennis and Tim Smith?
Yeah, we agree.
Tim Smith, chime in, please. Do you agree?
Right. I think they will win, but like you said, the game is so late.
You got data on New Mexico that's making you feel some kind of way?
No, I don't. It's just the first game. It's just the first game of the season, and it's so late. You know, crazy stuff happen. First game of the season, those late games for some reason. But no, I say Arizona will win it.
All right, so that's a W. That's an early W for Arizona. All right, they're going to Northern Arizona, the Lumberjacks. Okay, I'll give them this W also.
Capital W.
Capital W. Willie, how you have it?
We give them a W.
All right, Tim Smith, how do you have it?
I give them a W on that too.
All right, and then it gets a little tougher. Their schedule is not as easy. So on their third game, they're ready for that problem. They say I want problems, and then we come to Kansas State, the Wildcats. All right, let me remind people where Kansas State sits at on this ranking. Come on now. All right, so Kansas State is ranked number 2 by CBS preseason rankings. Okay, just so put some respect on their name. Let me close this out. Okay, so how do we have it with Kansas State? That's a Friday. That's a Friday game, September 13th. All right, at
What
8
time?
p.m. At 8 p.m.
Okay.
Friday, 8 p.m. is going to be in Bill Snyder Family Stadium, Manhattan, Kansas.
Home game. They'll win it.
Kansas State win by 10.
Kansas State wins by 10. All right. I think Tim knows about Kansas a little bit. And then keep in mind, for those of you who don't know, K-State is Dylan Edwards' new team. Okay. All right. DC, no, tennis, how you have it?
I got Kansas State winning by 7.
Kansas State win by 7. Okay. DC, how you have it?
That's a lowercase. Well, no, Kansas State wins that game.
Kansas State win that game. I believe that. So they are going into the off week 2-1. This is how we have it, 2-1. I'm going to have to tally some of these information so that we can have a bulletin board so that we can see how my panel and myself, how we did. I think we're pretty good. I'm telling you, I can put this information on against a lot of people. I'm telling you. We got information. I'm saying this. All right, so then they catch another L after the bye. They go to Utah Utes. Oh gosh.
Yeah, that's gonna be an L.
Stadium. That's an L for Dave.
That's an L. But can I just say this?
Yes,
if y'all watch college football for decades, most games are generally within a score. So like when we use the thing, we only lost by this many points. Most games are within the score at D1. Generally, you don't have the big lopsided loss, except when you look at the top teams, like in the SEC, and the bottom teams, and when they play group of fives, it's the most boringest games ever. But just to throw that out there, because I'm going to say with Utah, I think that Utah beats them, but they don't dominate them. I think that's probably a 4-point game. But generally, most games are one possession games. Continue.
All right. Well, before we go and move on, Phil is ready to chime in. Hey, Phil So Real, welcome to the show. Welcome to the panel. How you doing today, brother?
Hey man, all is well. Hope everybody's doing good this wonderful Friday.
What up, Philip?
Hey, so 4th of July, Willie went and drunk a lot of Colorado tea, and then he ate some Deion Sanders ribs, and he's on here cutting up today. So just be careful how you approach Willie today, okay? He's on one.
Okay, I know how to be a chameleon. I can fit in. I can fit in with the prime sauce.
Make sure you fit in right, brother.
I just wanted to bring you up to speed just in case you hit a road bump and you realize you're like, what the heck is Willie talking about?
Okay, thank you.
All right, cool. All right, so how do you have it? We're gonna start with you, Phil. Okay, now you know what? Let's do this. KMS 929 says they smoked Utah last year. Now, keep in mind the information that we have is current information, right? Their coach. Let's remind people why this is important. Okay, let's remind people. Hey, Cape Con, I got you. Your device is on now. I'll bring you on in 1 second. You know what? Let's bring you on right now. That way we can continue the conversation. All right, Cape Con, what up with you? Thank you for calling in. I appreciate you calling in. How you doing? Can you hear us, Cape Con?
Hi, Harry B. Yeah, I can hear you now, guys. Hi, Harry B. How you doing? Been following you for a while, man. I'm
awesome.
calling all the way from South Africa, man.
You're calling from South Africa. So I got a couple of X-Man is from South Africa. You're from South Africa. So I got a couple of South African guys who are interested in Colorado football. What's in the water in Cape Town that you guys are? Are you guys Deion fans, or you just like Colorado? And that's just the first U.S. state that you saw was Colorado. You was like, okay, I won that one, my brother. Give me Colorado.
That one, my brother. Nah. No, okay. Actually, I'll give you a backstory. Shout out to everyone in the chat.
Mhm.
as you guys say in America. Um,
Yes, we got.
and in the stream now,
What do y'all say in South Africa?
away in the chat.
Away in the chat. Okay, away in the
Yeah,
chat.
away in the chat.
Nice.
Anyway, I followed the football for quite a while, but my actual football team was the Patriots because of Tom Brady. When he
Okay.
moved over to the other team, I followed there. But Deion Sanders has always been a worldwide like he's a big he's an icon. He's worldwide.
Mm.
So what I liked about it was black man, black power. You know what I mean?
Mm.
Also he's an influence. So he's got that raise men, boys to men mentality that I came up with as a boy. I'm a father of two boys. So I
Mm.
wanted to look at his ways of doing things, and I wanted to follow the Colorado story because being from the worst team in football to the to I mean to not, from that to something, it's a story. I mean, if he does it, he makes history. So that's why I'm following closely, and I like what he's done. I mean, purging a roster is not as easy as everyone thinks, and Harry B, you do a good job of with your panel that comes on different times and different lives. You guys do a good thing of breaking down information. So in South
Mm.
Africa, we call that's like reconnaissance, that's like history. You look at history first, and then you look at what history dictates to the next thing. So my
Mm.
question for you, Harry B, and the panel is: since the 4-8, looking at Arizona as that's the topic.
Mm.
We lost by what? 30? Was it 31?
33 to 30
Yeah.
something. It
The
was
difference in
it was
that
a three
game,
point difference.
right? The difference of the fourth quarter and the O line. Like now
Hmm.
we've beat up the O line. I see the coach for Arizona, like you were saying. You guys come in. Is it Fish or Fick? I think he's gone to Washington. The boy has gone to Alabama. But now with the new coach has never not changed things. So
Hmm.
I don't think Arizona is going to be as strong as even though the polls are saying. I
Hmm.
think he's trying to bring his own philosophy because he was at is it Arkansas? Where was he at? Can't remember. My question to you guys is: looking at the team he's got, he's still
Hmm.
got maybe backbone of O line. He's outside guys, his skilled guys are not as much as Colorado comparatively. We got, I mean, Travis is a worldwide, he's a once in a lifetime generational talent. What will it take to beat them fourth quarter? I know we can go toe to toe. It's proven from the
Hey,
last
can
game.
I go first?
Fourth quarter, what will it take to beat them fourth quarter? Yeah, you can go. Go
Hey,
ahead.
Yeah, Tim is ready to answer that question. Go ahead, Tim.
yeah, it's two things. If they run the ball and if they can stop the run. The only reason we lost that game is because they could not stop the run, which allowed Arizona to control 6 minutes of the fourth quarter. So those two aspects are my opinion.
All right, DC, you want to take it or
Let me go after Willie. I want to hear what Willie had to say. Then
all
I
right,
will.
What was the
go ahead, Willie. What are your
what
thoughts?
what was the question again, please?
What is it going to take to beat this team?
Arizona?
Yes, Arizona.
Oh, this is a revenge game. We coming with everything. We coming with all the dogs. We have a new defensive coordinator. We have a relatively new matter of
Hey,
fact.
Willie, why is it revenge? Can you clarify that a little bit? Can you go a little deeper? Why is it a revenge game?
We lost by 3 points. Remember? That's
Well,
what we
yeah, I
talk.
mean, I know, but it's like, it's.
It's a
Did you say revenge in a way where it was like it started something? Because like you know how rivals are started and stuff like that, but rivalries are started. I'm saying, are you saying revenge because you feel like something happened? Because every game that we lost last year, every team that we play off the loss would be revenge. Is that how you're looking at it, or how are you looking at revenge?
revenge. And from my perspective, is this okay? You beat me last year. You beat me by only 3 points. I want to get some payback. And
Oh,
can I
okay. So
say
you're
payback?
just looking at it from the fact that we just
Oh
lost.
yeah. Oh
Okay,
yeah.
okay. All
Oh
right,
yeah.
go ahead, go ahead.
Payback is a like I say is a father. I would say mother, but we don't want to say that. But I'm looking at the attitude of the guys. Look, we lost to these guys last year. We're not going to lose to them this year. That just ain't going to happen.
All right,
So that's it.
all right.
Hey,
So what do you
Tennessee
say?
said that 18 years in a row against Alabama every year, and they still lost. So just want to put that out there.
All right. So all right, Phil. So how do you see Colorado winning this game?
Uh, I think I think with Colorado, I think I want to see them focus on the run a lot more this year. I know people always say, "Oh, well, Dion." It was very balanced at Jackson, so I'm hoping that we can see that. And I think the defense is going to have to steal some possessions. If defense can create maybe 2 turnovers, I think that'll be a key to a victory for Colorado against Arizona.
All right. So Stacy Ephraim said she's pretty much a panel member whenever she's here, except she don't come in the panels. She said bad coaching lost the game last year. So if I was to interpret what Stacy Ephraim is saying, that if we Coach Prime is either going to improve and we're going to win the game this time, or Stacy, you can defend yourself in the chat. I don't have to defend you because I know you know your stuff. So defend yourself in the chat, okay?
Hey, but Harry, in theory, we have better players this year now for Colorado. So if we seeing these same issues late in the game, who are we going to put it on? Are we going to put
We
it
got to
on
put
the
it on
players?
Dion. No, Dion gets all the smoke this year. Dion gets, I will lay into his whoop. Don't play with me. Dion gets all the smoke this year, and I ain't playing no games. All right,
Harry, let me add a little something to that.
No, you already went. No, we got a big panel now. You can't be added into some DC.
Add one thing.
Go ahead, Willie. I'm joking.
Okay.
Go ahead.
I know you are. Also, the OC of that game was Schumer. Schumer OC that game in Arizona.
Okay, so what are you tying it to? What are you tying that to? The fact that we lost, that he was bad.
That he was OC. It was a good thing. It was a good thing that he was there and that he did.
And it was a good. Okay, so let me clarify what you're saying. Put it into perspective. What you're saying. It was a good thing that Arizona in the last 6 minutes and 47 seconds took the ball and we were not able to do anything. So that's not on him. That was on the DC. You're saying?
No, that's on the defense. The fact that we scored 31 points, well, we're able to score 31 points and to almost win that game was the fact that we had an OC that called the proper play.
Okay.
Made the proper decision.
All right,
the defense lost that game for us.
All right, so let's take DC's thoughts and then we can move on.
Okay, the defense lost most of the games for you. I know we talk about how bad the O-line was, but they were good enough to score you 30 points in many of your games. So you got to consider it was to the point that y'all was losing on the scoring side. You basically couldn't, and you basically couldn't stop a wet nose with a napkin. I mean, it basically that so this game, I would say the defense is what's going to be Colorado's make or break. And this game is number one is you have to stop the run. Now, do you have the DBs that can stop the run? I'm not going to answer that question. I'm just going.
We're not scared. Hey, listen.
I don't know.
Hold on.
I don't know.
I got some pushback on that one. I got a little bit of pushback on that one thing, DC, because that's making the assumption that the running backs are going to be able to get into the secondary. That's making it seem like you don't have the confidence in in the defensive line and the linebackers from Colorado to go ahead and prevent those guys from getting to the next level. Is that what I'm hearing?
Well, maybe you might be hearing a piece of that, but let me explain there,
Okay.
Mr. Phil So Real. What I'm saying to you is this.
Hey, DC, let's call him Sir So Real.
Yeah, Sir So Real. That's right. That's right. So here's the thing. Man. The new DC is coming in. We talked about simplifying the defense in order for your players, their strengths. Okay, so what that means is we're getting people a short amount of time, which means checking out of things. Because think about it. You're going to a year where the quarterback has the headset. So they can jump out of a play and see and go into something else. And, a quick route, which winds up putting the defense at a disadvantage. All right. And again, we can debate that. But the thing is, new DC, and then you have, I just feel that their linebacker room is the weakest link in that defense. But you got to have that in the Big 12. So I think if their linebacker room is there and the unit is playing as one, that's fine. I'm not depending upon the secondary. Because think about it, the game got long. Look how long some of the runs were on Colorado. If the defensive line is good, that should help you. It needs to be a bend, don't break defense. But hear what I'm saying. If they do that, they're going to do well. But if they cannot stop the run in a heavy run, then you are just it could spell trouble.
I don't think the run's going to be an issue.
All right, so okay, guys. All right, good. Listen, see what you started, Cape Con. You jumped in and you.
My bad.
It's all it's all good. This is part of the conversation. Thank you so much. But let's get this information because KMS said earlier, and I'm putting it back on the screen. They smoked Utah last year. Now, listen. Let's go into the data and say the attributes or the elements that maybe caused that. Let's look at this. The Wildcats lost 28 players. 10. This is the transfer portal movement. All right. This is why you have to take the information and say, okay, how does this stack up? Because if you say they smoked Utah last year, this is barbershop talk. This is not data driven, right? It's not embedded with data. So because you have to take these elements into consideration, the Wildcats lost 28 players, 10 of which followed former head coach Dead Fish to Washington. I said not earlier. I was incorrect. Somebody should have fact checked me, but I don't think Phil was here yet. DC be slacking.
I put it in the comments.
Oh, dang, my bad. Okay, well, I didn't see it in the comments. You should have checked me live because you're live. Stop playing with me. All right, so listen. Now here's the nitty gritty. This is what you should hold on to. Last year's leading rusher, Jonah Coleman. That's the first guy, the leading rusher. What did we just talk about? The person that got Shador the fastest, right? We just talked about that. So their leading rusher, I'm talking about the running back. We talked about running back. The guy, remember, they took the ball for 6 minutes and 47 seconds. We didn't get it back. And they kept using rush. They kept using Jonah and the other running backs, right? So their leading rusher, Jonah Coleman, is gone. That's very important. Remember that. Starting cornerback, Ephesians Prysack is gone. Their starting cornerback, okay, that's their Travis Hunter. He's gone. Keep that in mind, okay? And their starting edge, Isaiah Ward, is gone also. So their cornerback and their edge is gone. Their starting cornerback. These are not just utility players that were on the team. They're gone. Arizona also lost starting nose tackle. All right, that's going to be Bill Norton. He went to Texas. He's gone. And then they're calling this guy. Brian Howell is calling this guy a part-time linebacker. That's going to be Daniel Hamuli or whatever his name is. He's gone to Georgia State. Okay, so now those are. You got to consider these things when you're saying, oh, if they smoked them last year, why did they smoke them? They smoked them because of Jonah. They smoked them because of the cornerback, Ephesians. All right, that edge is important. He was the starting edge. That's important. All right, and because I just like when DC how DC treats this information. Let me go to him first, and DC, give me your thoughts on what that means, and talk to KMS for us. Talk to KMS in the way that he should interpret this information that we got right here.
So I rock with KMS all day. He knows that. I don't know. I got messed up with prime effect saying he instead of she. So let me correct myself. Person, individual, KMS. All right. So
I'm coming to you next.
All right. So the thing is, they did lose some things, and I was telling Stacy in the chat that I do expect that they will have a drop off. Arizona have a drop off at least a little with defense. However, they did pick up two cornerbacks. One of them played at Tennessee. The other one played at Louisville. They also got some edge rusher. They got a defensive lineman from they got a running back from Syracuse. And he's okay. Conley. They did pick up a DL, and they did get we got two DL. So the thing being, I think that they.
So are you saying, okay, DC, slow down for a second.
Okay.
Are you saying that those were viable replacements, or those were the replacements were sufficient to fill the gap?
I don't know. You know what? That's the thing I'm saying. I think that's TBD for me. I don't know if they are going to replace that level of productivity that resulted in 10-3. I think that it drops them 2 games
Okay.
personally.
So that's
So I
that's
don't.
speaking direct. That's speaking directly to KMS and DC. Let me let me
Yes.
let me give it to Cape Con. Cape Con, what are your thoughts and how do you interpret this information right here? Because when people say, "Hey, Arizona was like that last year," and this is why we like to do the show the way we do it. We go into this data, like everything that's in blue right now. If you're just listening, if you're watching, if you're just listening to the audio, but we're talking about Coleman, who was their leading rusher, cornerback Ephesians. I got him highlighted, and then we got the edge Isaiah Ward. So how do you interpret this data, Cape Con? What does
Okay,
this really mean as
guys,
far as that, like how
like I
their
said,
production this year?
right, like I said, new coach, new philosophy, and also I forgot his name now. Mentioned they brought in some replacements, but however, their lead rusher in the last game, Jonah Coleman, he was like he kept basically Shador on the bench. He kept Shador sitting cold. We couldn't get
Mm-hmm.
anything in the fourth quarter, so that's a big time loss. So you can't replace it in one season.
Mm.
Either you got the talent or you don't have it. My take on this is they like you said, the previous coach left with his Louis. They haven't got much Louis in.
Mm.
I take it like that. So I'm looking to see. Look, maybe 2 games. I think it'll be more. I think new coach, new philosophy, new way of playing. The whole ethos changes. So that's why I'm not worried about Arizona. What worries me is, can we handle their running game as a defense? Can we shut it down completely and then make them throw the ball 90 times, 100 times instead
So
of
this
rushing
is also
128 times?
thank you for that. So this is also important to note because we're not one-sided here on this show, right? We got to make sure that we cover the other side. So they lost 28 players. They lost some key players, but let's see what the replacements were. The Wildcats brought in 24 transfers. All right, they lost 28, brought in 24, including 2 of the best running backs in the Mountain West last year in Ja'Cory Krosky Moret from New Mexico and Quali Connolly from San Jose State. Now, if we just stop right there, just put a pin in it right there. We got somebody coming. We got the best rusher coming from the Mountain West, but the Mountain West that's CSU, right? The CSU plays in the Mountain West.
Mm-hmm.
Yes.
And then we got San Jose State. So
San Diego State also.
San Diego State?
Mountain West, yeah.
Oh yes, Mountain West. Thank you. All right. So if we were to say, okay, they're leading Russia last year, are these this is why I was asking DC, are these viable replacements? So Phil, how do you interpret this data as far as replacement and production is concerned? Because two of the best running backs from the Mountain West. How do you interpret that data?
If those 2 players went to Colorado, we would be listening to people talk about how good they're gonna be and how they were dogs. So I'm gonna use that same logic
Okay.
for these guys.
Well, what's the flip side to that, though? Let me. What are you trying to do here? Why are you
The
doing this to me? What's the
the
flip side
flip.
to that?
Okay, cool. So I can have an argument with myself on 2 different sides, you know.
Yes,
So
please,
but the flip.
please talk
So
to
the
yourself.
flip.
Do some self talk. Let me listen in.
I mean, but the flip side will obviously be okay. You know, level of competition. You
Yeah.
know, I mean that, and it's not to say that the group of 5 is bad, but there's a reason why they're group of 5 and not power 4. You know what I'm saying?
Thank
So
you.
you want to see
Thank
does that level of play that they were at translate when they come over? For some, it does translate well, and then for others, it's a rude awakening, and it's yet to be seen for these guys right now.
Okay.
I live over here in the Mountain West in San Diego, and so I'm somewhat familiar with it. And those guys are the Mountain West is, I mean, for its running backs, it's not that strong. The best thing to ever come out of the Mountain West, San Diego State, was Marshall Park. and they haven't been one since, or maybe one or two others. So
Mm.
they're, even though they may have won, just a championship or whatever, not a championship, but one, what they won, it's still not the strongest for its running back goals. It's pretty much known for passing at one time.
All right, so I just want to give a shout out to my other South African guy. He's in the chat right now. X-Men, what up? I got a South African on the panel. I got Cape Cod on the panel. My two South Africans are rocking with me, man. That's what's up. I appreciate that, guys. You know what I'm
Hey, hold on 1 second. I'm offended.
Why you offended? You're black.
Too.
I'm at least half African. I'm at least half
I am
African.
3.
Now we black now.
I'm back home.
Hey, listen, man. I have 2 resident white guys that come over here. I'm glad they're not on here today. All they all are Africans, okay? And I'm happy for y'all. Get out of here. Stop playing with me.
Mr. Librarian himself said it, man.
No, we over here. Listen, what we're gonna have to do. I'm gonna have to do a show dividing like what African and African American. This is weird. Anyways, I'm not saying you're not African, guys. Okay, you're African American. So unless you're ready to take off the American, then we can have that conversation. But anyways, listen. So going back to football talk, right? This information right here, the way that we can interpret this, I would say, okay, and I don't want to diminish the movement, right? 24 transfers in, and the best they got was they got the best of the Mountain West of the group of 5. Was it? Did you say? Is that what it was, Phil? Was it group of 5?
Yeah, the Mountain West is a group of 5 conference, but it said the leading rusher for that conference. So I mean,
right. So they got the 2. They got the 2 best two best running backs from the Mountain West. So that's going to be some production. But you got to keep in mind that these guys, let's say Arizona was beating ranked teams. Any ranked team you put before them, they were beating hands down, right? Last year. So you got to consider the fact that they're losing Jonah Coleman and then like their quarterback, they're losing those. So I wouldn't say these are equal replacements. And KMS, this is the reason why we say, hey, don't always look at the production from last year. Look at go inside the data and see where you can extrapolate information that can help your judgment. Because based on our judgment, if we go back to this schedule, there's a reason why they're ranking Utah. Utah did not lose as much as right. Utah is being ranked number 1, and they did not lose as much as Arizona did. So all of that Cinderella stuff that they did last year, I hope that clears it up. This is why we're projecting that they lose this game. All right. So
and I want to just piggyback. I just want to say this real quick, Tim. Piggyback. Y'all got to be careful with the G5 talk, because if you're gonna do that, you're gonna have to talk about Wester. You're gonna have to talk about your receiver, who did a phenomenal job, but you can't go, well, I don't like the G5 over here. It's not that good, and then turn around and look at some of your key players on that team.
No, we're not doing a Willie. Come on now, come on, give us a break. Yeah. We're not doing a Willie today. We're just saying we're talking about the level of replacement, right? We're talking about would you say, we're not putting down the G5, we're just saying, would you say the G5 competition that they had over there, would you say their production, even though they are the best running backs from the Mountain West, from the G5, would you say that these are equal replacements?
No, not at this point. I wouldn't say that.
I just want to make sure that that's what we're saying.
I agree with that 100%.
Right. So we're basing our data and our information off of the fact that the competition was not as strong, and if they were the best, that's good. Then that means that they're gonna produce. But if they're losing their star running back, their starting rusher, who torched us last year, then it's not the same replacement, and that's why we're saying that Utah is going to win this game. Even though they beat Utah last year. Go ahead.
Let me ask you a question.
Yeah.
Last year, KMS, his statement that he made. Okay, I can't remember, but when did Arizona and Utah play in the season last season? Because Utah had a lot of players, a lot of their starters hurt.
Yeah, Utah was played with injury last year.
Yeah, but when they played Arizona, what was it with a lot of injury? Was a quarterback out? They starting quarterback?
Well, didn't the starting quarterback, he sat out the whole year.
Yeah, pretty
Oh,
much it
okay.
was not. Yeah, yeah.
Yeah.
Tim, you go,
Yeah.
woo, brother. That's a can of worms right there. You can
Yeah,
have that one, but I agree with what you're saying.
yeah, you get what I'm saying? So it's like
Is it because
even
they
though
lost?
Arizona,
Mm.
huh?
They played Utah at the end of
No, I'm seeing the
week
scoreline. I'm
11.
seeing the scoreline. Yeah, at the end of the
They played
season.
on
Yeah,
Yeah.
week. They
Yeah.
played on week
yeah.
11, so that was one of the last games of the season. So
Oh,
Yeah,
okay,
at
yeah.
that point they were already injury prone. Like they were already riddled by injuries.
So
Well, this
depleted out with.
conversation is nonchalant.
And Cam
thank
Rising
you,
Cam
thank you.
Rising was not on the team last year. So keep in mind our conversations are linear. We're taking all of the data points and we're connecting them. We're not just saying win loss win loss. Okay, we're taking all of the data points and we're trying to make sure that we make informed judgment. Go ahead, Cape Con. What were you going to say?
I was focusing on the running back situation because remember this is a run heavy league. So the replacement, what's his name? Jacory. I think you say Jacory or Krosky. He's carries a 189 last season. He only had 1,190 rushing yards and touchdowns zero, average 6.3 per carry. So if you look at Coleman, I mean they're worlds apart. So it is a replacement that has experience, but they need to coach him up.
Hold on.
That's what
You
I'm.
said
You know, like
Jacory. Drop the jewels again on Jacory. What did you say about him?
he's 23 season stats. Um, CAR I think stands for carries. I'm trying to read American, so it's
Carries.
189. YDS stands for yards. It's 1,190 yards, and then touchdowns, no touchdowns. Average per carry 6.3. That's from the Big Five or from the K5, whatever you guys call it.
That's
So
got to be
my
an
look,
error.
That's a
well,
lot of
this is
yards to not have a touchdown.
Yeah,
Yeah,
I
that's
Who's
like
don't.
you
That's an
looking at
error.
that's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So
Who
I'm
stats are
thinking
those?
he's looking at Jacory
Jacory, is that correct?
Krosky
Yeah, Krosky. Just
from New
fact check with me
Mexico.
because if that's
Okay,
correct and he's
got
got
you.
no touchdowns for those, yeah, from for no for touch, he's got no touchdowns but look at the yards and the carries. That means he isn't that experienced of a running back to convert into points. Now look at
Hey
Coleman.
Phil,
Coleman was
drop
one
me
of
that
the
information, okay?
key
If you when you get
pieces
it.
that
Got you.
led them to those wins.
All right. So
Well,
if
well,
he's not,
Kate, consider this. Consider a team that let's take Auburn. Auburn would get into the red zone and they would have Thorne as the QB. And when they came into the red zone, they would run. Tim, correct me, was Robbie Ashford. They were run Bobby Ashford. So it looked, and a lot of the Auburn running backs did not get as many touchdowns as they could because they put in a running quarterback. I'm not saying that happens, but and that sounds crazy, but I do see sometimes that some backs are good for running up and down the field, and then some are better for red zone. So just take that into consideration.
all right. So
Okay.
let's get this information on the tape for those who needs all the
But
information. Who made?
what I'm asking is if yeah, okay.
Okay, hold on one second. All right. So we got Shanko who
No,
played
go
3
ahead.
years.
Go ahead, Harry. Sorry, I'm cutting you off. Sorry.
It's okay. We got a little bit of a delay, but Shanko, who played 3 years at New Mexico and spent the season, he spent the spring at Arizona State. So that means he transferred. He jumped into that transfer. He was like, "I'm out of here." He could be the starting guard. Okay, so that could be their starting right guard, according to Brian Howell. He played with Fafita and McMillan in high school, so there's familiarity there. So they already know each other. They know how each other play. Receiver Romello Murphy from Old Dominion, and then tight end Sam Olsen from San Jose State. They could also make an impact on offense. So on defense, we got edge players Trey Smith, San Jose State, and Lance Kennelly from Stanford. The and linebacker Stanley Tafu, USC. They could also make an impact. So based on the information that's being provided by Brian Howard's research, these, would you guys say that these are utility players? Is this how this goes? Like this, these are more utility players. So if you were to assess this entire information, what would you say? How would you? How are you interpreting this data? And since you wanted to say something to Cape Con, tie this into what you were going to say.
Okay. Apologies about the stat. It was 17 touchdowns. Sorry.
Oh, okay,
I had
awesome.
a delay on my end. So, what are you asking, Harry? You wanted me to utility players, as in the fill-ins that are replacing the 28 players that left?
Yeah. So at the bottom now, we're talking about, we're kind of trying to bring it all together as far as the information on who replaced who. You feel me? Is it a 1-for-1, or is it a one in a possible, like if you play tuck or you play cards or whatever? Is it a 1-for-1 replacement, or is this kind of like you took one, you replaced them with a utility player?
I have to look at the stats, but judging by the
so let's get the stat. Let's get the stats on. Yeah. Give me 1 second, Cape Con. Let me get the stats on. All right. Let me put the stats up there so that everybody can know, because we wanted to make sure that. Just give me 1 second. So this was the information for Krosky, right? Is that right, Cape Con?
Yeah, Krosky. What's his name?
Kursky Maresk?
Yeah, Krosky Merritt. That's the running back.
Yeah,
I don't know how you say it in American. Merritt. I don't know.
Yeah. All right. So I just wanted to put.
Go ahead, man. Go ahead.
Let's put that out there. Let's just make sure that we correct the information. I just put it out there on the screen. 189 yards, 1,000 TD, 17 average, 6.3. He has 17 touchdowns. All right. Go ahead, please. Your thoughts on the 1-for-1 replacement. Your thoughts on the quality of replacement. That's for you, Cape Con.
Okay. There's a bit of delay. Sorry. Okay. There's a bit of a delay on my end. Can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Go ahead. Your thoughts on the quality of replacement.
Hello. Okay, look, I'm using because I only managed to get Chukori because of my delay. But anyway, it's not a bad replacement. All I'm saying, it's not like for like. I think it's full in position. That's my take on it. You're getting experience. I'm trying to look out there for the receiver Remilo Murphy. I'm trying to look him up as well, and what's his name, Sam Olsen, the tight end. So it's more what pieces did they need to fill in from the players they lost, instead of what could they get to replace exactly what they lost. That's what I look at it like in a nutshell.
I'll tell you this: that the 6.3 yards a carry is not bad, regardless of what league you're in. That's not a bad. That tells me that person has some acceleration. I don't know, when you get a little higher, we don't know if he can break away, because what you're looking at, somebody running back that can take that first hit and still keep going. I don't know. I hadn't seen anything on dude. I need to go back and do my research, but I still think overall, because I think they're gonna score points on people. They just got so much firepower. I think it's just gonna be their defense. Will they be able to stop people? And I think they might struggle.
Also, I'm going to say that you've got a guy coming in. If you had any replacements on your interior offensive line, these guys going to have to gel together with the running back. That's going to be the most important thing. Even though they're good individually and talented, what kind of line do they have? Or the same people coming back on that's on the line, and even with that, they're still going to have to gel. As a unit. It's not just, the running back can score all of these touchdowns and get all these yards. He can't do that without the line. So until just like we say with CU, what's our main issue? Everybody just has to gel together. We got the talent there, okay, but everybody has to gel together. So that's going to be part of the issue with, I think, Arizona.
All right, so Phil, can you break down this information we got on the screen, please?
Yeah, so that's the information for the Merritt kid. So yeah, I had 189 attempts, 1100 yards rushing, 6.3 average, uh, 17 touchdowns. I mean, in theory, you hand him the ball twice and you have a first down. You know what I'm saying? Like that's pretty impressive. And to DC's point, like yeah, it may be group of five, but to average that much rushing is impressive, whatever level you're
Mm-hmm.
on. So I wonder uh, what type of offensive scheme they ran. Were they like out of the pistol? Was it like a triple option type situation? And how does that translate to Arizona's offensive scheme? But I'd be interested to look up the film on this guy because that's a really good average to
Mm-hmm. All right. So you were going to say something
have.
before this?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to make a quick point because we're talking about running the ball, being able to run the ball, and being able to stop the run. I just want to reiterate that I know everybody loves block bully, but he may not have the most perfect stats this season, but the value that he's going to bring to the defensive line is if he can command those double teams. Because I think that's what's supposed to make him so special is that now all of a sudden there's going to be two guys that are going to have to focus on him. So now that creates a hole to where one of our linebackers, another edge guy, somebody, we got other mixed matches that are going on. So just keep in mind that while Block Bullet may not have, you know, 10 tackles for losses or 10 sacks, something like that, that's not where his value is going to be. His value is going to be getting those double teams on the offensive line.
Yeah,
Mm.
I agree.
Hey Tim, you want to you? I don't know if you want to, or
Okay,
I
so
can
I
give
have
it
a
to somebody.
question.
Go ahead. Go ahead with your question.
Okay, so you pointed out something important there. So the package is important, right? So now that's what now looking at our run defense. Now, if they're running, if you're saying on average two possessions is the first down, that's a problem. That means in four attempts, you could, depending on yards and distance, you could get a touchdown, and also situations. Now, our defense, looking at now, are we going to look at our defense and look at what we got in the run defense game to stop that kind of production? If we're saying these guys from that conference are in, despite the level of competition, have the what is the word? Have the punch through to get through our run defense that we currently have. Is that what we're trying to say, or are we just looking holistically at their production being a factor we shouldn't ignore? That's what I'm asking.
Tim,
I,
you can take that.
Is he asking? Is that gonna play a factor towards CU when they play?
Yes.
Not really. I feel like CU defense is gonna be solid in the middle, man. Kind of like what DC saying. If it take two people to block the block bully, then you got that linebacker. You got linebackers that can Wester, the kid that came over from Michigan. These are smart individuals that then played enough football to know where they need to be. Uh, Wester, to me, he's a more he come downhill, but he's a sideline to sideline, so he's a smart player. But he goes to wherever the football go. He's gonna come. He's gonna be there. I feel like he's gonna fill that hole. I feel like when we play Arizona, I don't really see it the run being a factor. Uh, I feel like Arizona back is up against the wall. For Fia, I feel like if he hold the ball for 3 or 4 seconds, he's gonna have to get the ball out faster. Looking at the well off media and the practices that's going on. He got 2 seconds. He gonna have to get the ball out just as fast as that kid that came from Oklahoma that's at Oregon now. I'm worried more
Gabriel.
about Gabriel. I'm worried
Mhm.
more about the slants. But I'm not too worried because I feel like Travis is gonna be in the slot. But I feel like we're gonna be tested in the on the slants when it comes to Arizona. I don't really see them being able to run the ball. I don't see no 100-yard game against us. I don't. Not this year.
hundred
That's
yard rushing or 100-yard passing.
Rushing, probably
100-yard
rushing,
rushing. Excuse me.
probably rushing.
I I might I'll
I'll push
take
back
you
on.
up on
I'll
that.
push back on
Under
that.
your passing,
I'll push
that's
back on a little bit.
tight.
I think there's going to be some 100-yard rushings. I think that's me personally. I think that there's going to be because we really got to consider the fact that the Big 12 got some really good running backs. So
Well, that's
I
against
can't put it.
Arizona. I'm
What
not
you say?
saying everybody. I was
You
specifically
mean?
gearing that toward Arizona.
Oh,
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 okay.
okay. Okay. All right. Thanks for clearing that up because I'm like, ooh, that one didn't really sit. Yeah, based on my data, I was like, ooh, yeah, boy, this Big 12, they got some running backs and whew, they're gonna run that ball. All right,
But
so
go ahead.
we gotta move on, guys. Let's move on. We gotta go down this
Okay.
list quickly. We got like 10 minutes to go on this show. All right, so we're giving it to Utah. We kind of went into Utah and we told you why Utah. So keep that in mind as we go forward. We are so now they're what? Well, that's 1, 2, 3. They're 3-1. No, they're 3. No, 1, 2.
3-1. You're right.
They're 2-2. They're 2
Two
and
and
2.
two.
They're 2-2. Sorry, guys. They're 2-2 going into Texas. The Red Raiders and DC and DC. I don't know who you were having a conversation with. I don't know if it was Surfer Boy 3000. That their offense is going to be the same, but they're going to have a drop off with the defense. If you guys believe their offense is going to be the same based on who they brought in, then I would say this should be able to beat the Red Raiders because I don't know that the Red Raiders can stop the offense of last year. That's my thoughts. What are your thoughts? And I'll start with DC.
Their defense can. I just think that Arizona, because I mean, think about it, you had a freshman last year. This guy has gotten some reps. He's going to have a good offensive coordinator. So I would have to say, I think they beat the Raiders.
Yeah, okay. But now, can you elaborate a little bit, DC? Why even though we went into the data and we said that the conference play wasn't the same, why did you and Surfer Boy say that the offense should be the same based on what they brought in? Can you give us a little bit of information on that?
Very similar to they added some serviceable pieces. You got we're looking like this when we talk about Colorado. When we say offense, what are the two biggest things we say? We say
Shador
Shador
and
and
Travis.
Travis, right? Then you did get the other piece was Wester, so they got some pieces in there that are very serviceable, and they've got a running back. So that's why I'm saying is that just because the same kind of logic we're using with Colorado, you can apply that because I don't expect them to have a drop off. I expect
Okay,
them to
so
increase.
you're considering their okay. You got their Shador is the Noah Fifita. That was a big win for them. They're keeping their wide receiver, their defensive end.
Yeah.
But keep in mind that they were a run heavy team last year, but they're not keeping their running back. So I think that you don't think that's a fall off, or you think that what they brought in was enough to say that's going to be okay.
I think it'll be enough. If we're talking about like for Texas, like some teams it may not be enough, but for Texas, BYU stuff, I think it's going to be adequate.
Surfer Boy says the major concern CU fans should have with this season's schedule should be whether they have enough tough depth on the interior to face heavy run teams week after week, in most cases, especially late. I agree with that statement. I agree that I feel like the depth is what we got. We got to concern ourselves with depth. We may have depth. I don't know if it's next man up is going to be the same, but yeah. But we're going to have to see if we get tested in the secondary. So all right. So where were we? We are
Texas
I had
Raider.
it
I think
on
you
here.
were asking a prediction.
all right. So yeah. So how do we see it? DC, you said they'll win, right?
Yes.
All right, Kip Khan, how do you have it?
Colorado will win. It's a revenge
Colorado
game.
or
No, you're talking about Texas Tech and
No, Texas,
Oh,
Arizona. Arizona and Texas
sorry.
Tech.
Arizona and Texas Tech.
Well, Arizona will win the game.
Okay.
Will win the game. I don't see them losing.
All right. Tim, how do you have it?
I'm gonna go with Texas Tech.
Okay.
I don't think Arizona. Well, I have to go back and look at Texas Tech and see what they may have lost and what they gained. But
But
the
at
Red
home,
Raiders.
aren't they at home?
Yeah, that's why I'm saying it, Tim, because they're at home.
Yeah, I
At
Too.
know
home?
they're at home, and I feel like
Yeah.
Texas Tech can play good on the road. So, they can play well on the road. Texas Tech got a big back, man. They gonna run. They got a big quarterback too. That receiver they have, like Fafita. I mean, he
Did they get most of their starters back? No one left.
The returning of running back Taj Brooks spurs what should be fun offense, electrified by the addition of 5-star receiver Micah Hudson, and the top
yes.
recruit in program history.
So you got they fared pretty well against a good Oregon team last season. So Texas Tech is going to be a hard. I'm gonna ride with Texas Tech, man, on this.
I kind of know why you're doing that. I think I know why you're riding with them, because I don't know if I'm totally sold on what Arizona is really bringing. You know what I'm saying? I'm not 100% sold on what their addition. I think they're going to have a TCU year. That's how I feel.
Yes,
I feel like they're going to have a TCU year.
I agree, Harry.
Because while Fafita is good, and while Fafita is good, I just feel like those Mountain West boys are not really gonna. They're not going to be up for the task for what's coming for them in the Big 12. A lot of these Big 12 teams are really like they're gearing up to be a problem, and I think Texas Tech is going to be a problem. But it's I don't know, man. It's hard for you not to take the production of last year. Even knowing the data, it's hard for you not to look at Arizona and be like, "Dang, they're gonna do it again." And then Lamonius Craig was not that much of a, he wasn't that much of a weapon. But Phil, how do you have it? I'm not sure if we asked you.
You did. I'll be quick. I'm gonna go with Texas Tech on this one.
Oh, you're going with Texas Tech?
Yeah. I think like how you have Colorado beating a team that people aren't expecting is going to kind of be shocking. I think Texas Tech is going to have a game like that, and I think this is going to possibly be that game.
I don't know that this is going to be a shock though. Like Texas Tech is a nice team, bros.
But I mean, just based off how they have everybody ranked, based on how everybody has them ranked, and the fact that the game would be a away game for Texas Tech, I think the odds are going to be stacked against them more. So that's why I say that. But I think again, Texas Tech, Colorado, and West Virginia, those are the three teams to me in the Big 12 that have that upward trajectory. So I think that'll be a win that they use to catapult themselves into the next few years.
All right, Willie. So how do you have it?
I'm gonna go with Texas Tech too. They're gonna be run heavy. Arizona, even though they have a good running back, and Texas Tech has a good running back, I think there's gonna be a lot of points scored in this game because a lot of them, the run's gonna be tough, so they will have to take to the air, and one will win on the ground and one will win through the air. So I'm gonna go with Tech. I'm saying Tech can pull this one out.
All right, so Texas Tech got it. All right, so according to my panel, according to TLP Sports Club, Arizona is going 2-3. Is it 2-3 or 1, 2, 2, and then that's 1, 2? Yeah, they're 2-3 right now. It's not looking too good for them. I'm telling you, they're gonna. I see a TCU year coming. We can all say that they beat BYU, right? I mean, at least.
Yeah. Yes.
All right, so it's a consensus to beat BYU. So now they're 3-3 going into Colorado. Willie got Colorado winning every game. So don't
by 50.
How are we gonna smoke him?
Willie,
don't even try.
55.
We're gonna smoke.
55, because y'all want to do that.
We're gonna
55.
smoke 'em.
Oh gosh!
Okay.
All right, so Cape Con, are you on that Willie T right now? So
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
okay, so Cape Con
We're
has
gonna
got it.
smoke.
All right, Colorado's winning this game by with Willie and Cape Con. DC, how do you have it? Okay. Oh man.
I abstain. I'm just playing.
What?
Hey,
What's wrong with you, brother?
believe it or not, that's actually one of the games that I think Colorado gets.
Okay, so DC
Whoa.
got.
Now, that's I was firm on that one. I'm not, but I'm almost tempted to switch it to Texas. But I think that's the one that Colorado gets that people expect them not to win, but they win. I think it's going to be Arizona.
Yeah, I mean, like I said, I think last year, I wouldn't say, because if we look at the 3-point loss, I don't know that the coach last year, I don't know that Jeff Fish really wanted to win with any kind of style. I think he just wanted to just get us out of here. That's all he wanted. Yeah. It could have been worse. All right, if they can take the ball and take it almost 7 minutes, I think it could have been worse. But I'll leave that alone, and I would say Colorado got this game because I don't believe in Arizona. I'm telling you, I don't believe in Arizona, and they're going to prove it this year that they are not like that. And I think it was one of those anomaly years. All right, and they're going to fall off. I don't know why I feel this way, but I just feel this way.
Can I ask a quick question about Arizona? You said you think last year was an anomaly year, but do you think the fall off would still happen this year if Fish didn't leave? Because I think it's obvious that there is going to be fall off.
If who leave?
If
Jet
Fish never left, you know what I'm saying? Like, and imagine the players that left only because he left, and imagine the players that would come in only because he stayed.
It'll be a different
we don't know,
man.
Yeah, man.
So,
I
don't know. We can really say that it was a fluke last year. You know.
Okay, you know what? I'll give you that. I will give you that. I didn't believe. Yes, I'll give you that. That's a really great point that you make. I will give you that based on the merits of what you just said, because I didn't believe in them last year, but for some reason they were just beating everybody. Like, you put anybody in front of them, they would just beat them. And maybe it wasn't a fluke with Jet Fish and everybody that they had, but I would have still felt the same way and see how they did this year. Then I would have believed. I'm one of those type of guys, right? You got to make me a believer, because I didn't believe in you. You came and you proved me wrong. I want to see you do it twice. You feel me? And
okay.
And now that and then I already didn't believe. And then you lost the main focus? Come on now. I really don't believe. Now I really don't believe. Hey, Wild Dog is in the chat. Everybody says salute to Wild Dog. Wild Dog has been in the chat for a couple of times. Hey, Wild Dog, man, you ain't been on the channel on the panel for a minute. I hope you're feeling well, man. I hope Godspeed on everything that's going on over there on your side of town. Salute, Wild Dog. All right, so we give it to Colorado. That makes them what? Is anybody keeping track? Because my brain is going too fast.
I think that would be 3 and 4 at that point. I think Arizona's going to win that game, but I'm still outnumbered. So
you think Arizona's going to beat Colorado?
Yeah, I think that's the game Arizona's going to win.
Oh yeah, you're outnumbered, so you're out of here. Get out of here. Go.
Hold on. You think Arizona should beat Colorado?
Mm-hmm.
Huh?
There's no continuity. It's a new coach.
Yeah, there's no continuity
there. There's nothing. New staff. Even if you got your 5 running. Look, I'm not saying I don't respect them. I'm saying if the coach from last year was there, I'd be like, guys, we got to pull all the stops. That guy knows us. He knows how we play. He knows our weaknesses. He knows how to get at us. This new coach has to learn us from scratch. Look at TCU. The big shock against TCU was they didn't know us. That's how we beat them last year.
Even if it was the last coach, even if it was last year coach, like, I don't think they could have came in the air. I mean, I don't think Arizona would have beat Colorado at home this season, based off of what I'm looking at. And
they're playing in Tucson though. They're playing in Tucson.
Yeah, I know that.
October 19th.
Right. The Colorado
that's what he's saying. Like
them,
even with them being at home. He doesn't think it matters.
Oh, you're saying, but Tim, what I was trying to say earlier was, I think Jeff Fish took it easy on us.
Yes, Fafia wanted out, but they was able to keep him there.
Right. I don't think Jeff Fish is a flashy type of coach. I think he just wants to beat you. So it's one of those things where I hate him because I feel like they could have been even better, which is weird. But I didn't believe in them, and I'm like, prove it to me that you're that good. I don't know that they were that good because this is
going to Washington, so he better prove he's good for real.
No, I think that guy. I think he's the truth, man. If I think he's the truth, and what he's taking over there, I think he's the truth. Well, we'll see. All right, so you guys said 3 and 4, right? I gotta start creating some graphics where I gotta have like some live type of graphic where we're keeping a scoreboard. And I don't know if StreamYard has something where I can keep a scoreboard, but I'll try to figure this out. All right, so we got West Virginia Mountaineers. Oh, is it a consensus that Arizona wins this game or no?
I'll give it West Virginia. Yeah,
I think it'll be a tough match, but I think Arizona will win this one.
Yeah, so Arizona.
Oh, you're giving it to Arizona. Is there any rebuttals? Nobody rebutting here.
This could very well be like a last second game. I think West Virginia is one of those teams that I say that's on the upward trajectory in the conference. I just don't know if this year is that year that they really like break out. But I think that Arizona is good enough to beat them, even with West Virginia on the upswing.
All right, so I like I said, man, I'm seeing a TCU type of year, but even with the TCU type of year, I feel like Fafita he's still nice, and the 5 guys that we highlighted, I feel like those guys are nice enough. Jacob Manu, linebacker, T. McMillan, wide receiver, defensive end, Tris Smith. I feel like those guys, they might want to prove something and not have a fall off, because I think you take that kind of stuff personal. If your team did well last year, you're stepping into the to the shoes. You're gonna play your best because you don't want to be the team that took us down. Is that the right thing to say, or is that good enough to think in football terms?
Yeah, I mean, you look at Alabama. That's what kept a lot of guys there. They wanted to be able to say we were that first team after Saban left, and we want to prove that, you know what I'm saying, the tide is still the tide. And we don't know what they're gonna look like yet, but I respect them for staying. Because they could have easily left and been like, "Hey, well, Saban gone. It is what it is." But they stayed and they wanted to be a part of something special. So I respect it when I see guys do that, regardless of what team it is.
All right, Surfer Boy says, anyone watching these great shows Harry is giving, thank you for saying that. But then I'm about to fry you too in that same statement. It's giving us reviewing CU opponent schedules. Ain't no way you can say CU goes 8 and 4. I'm saying way because that's what I have here at TLP Sports Club. Even with the data, I'm saying they go 8 and 4. That is our prediction. 9 and 3 or 10 and 2. Y'all just think about that for a second, and I don't need a second. CU's going 8 and 4. Like that's for sure.
Let me slap Surfer Boy. Let me slap him.
You don't have to slap him, Willie. I just did for you. It's okay.
All right. Okay. Thank you, Harry.
You're welcome, Willie. I got you. I got your back. All right. So let's move on to UCF, the UCF Knights. And if anybody's not familiar with the name and thinking UCF is going to be a fall off or some type of sleeper team, think again. They are ranked number 8, but the Knights are one of those unicorn teams. And we looked on their schedule last time. They were beating guys that were like top teams, like by like 50 some points. So don't sleep on UCF. How do we have this game? Let me start with you, Phil.
Because UCF is at home, the bounce house is gonna be rocking. I'm gonna give it to UCF. I'm gonna give it to UCF.
I know why you're saying that too, man. I know why you're saying that. All right, Tennis, how do you have this going?
I'm gonna sneak this one in for Arizona. UCF got this quarterback that was he there last year? Same guy. He's pretty decent, but I think Arizona beat him.
All right. Okay.
UCF
Cool.
has a new quarterback.
A new one,
But
not the black guy from last year.
that no, KJ Jefferson was at Arkansas last year. They had this transfer from Ole Miss that was at UCF,
Oh,
but
okay.
I digress.
All right, let's give UCS skinny. All right, the Knights were positioned as a potential dark horse contender in their first Big 12 season, but UCF struggled to deal with the strength and bulk of Big 12 opponents, going 1-7 against legacy Power 5 teams. UCF hit the portal hard and got some big hitters, including quarterback Jefferson, edge Nikolic, not Najalak or Nakalik, whatever it's Kelly, and his linebacker Josiah Pierre. Jefferson should add some physicality to Gus Malzahn's power rushing offense and keep the pressure off a developing defense. That said, it's hard to be confident in UCF physicality reaching contention levels until we see it. So that's the skinny on UCF.
So
But
let's pause on that, Harry, for a second. I want to
yep,
key into this
yes,
because Colorado has to consider you might be more set up set up for the Pac-12 and not the Big 12.
uh-huh.
UCF had that issue last year and it did not. So when you're looking at these things, go back and look at some of the stuff. But as far as that, because that's a key thing, I'm keying in on that. Like I even put in the chat, I think Colorado is more built for the Pac-12, not necessarily the Big 12. Not saying they won't be successful at all, but that is a key thing. You got to, if you look at the end of this year and it didn't go to the 8-4, I would be willing to bet money that that would be the reason they didn't. It wouldn't be because of the offense. It's going to be because of the defense. But with that said, UCF is getting a good quarterback in. One thing I'm going to sit here and take KJ Jefferson. If y'all want to know what a bad line really looks like, go watch Arkansas from last year. That was a horrible line, and still KJ Jefferson gave Bama one of the best defenses in the nation. Hell, you know how Shador was just out there slanging it and throwing it against teams, even though that line was bad. This dude was running over folks that
Wow.
got drafted in the first round. So I'm just saying, this one is that if you don't have, this is one of those things where you can run this guy. This is basically somebody that has similar running ability of Cam Newton. Similar. I didn't say better
Where did
or
he
the
come from?
same.
Where was KJ Jefferson last year?
Arkansas.
Arkansas.
But he's a big body, so he's a big
Arkansas.
boy.
He's a big boy. Okay, so that's good information. DC, thanks
He's a
for
big body. Yeah.
thanks for interjecting that. So I guess what DC, to interpret a little bit what DC is saying, what's true for Colorado, what's true for UCF is also true for Colorado. Um, the strength and bulk of Big 12 opponents. So Big 12 opponents, even though the people speak, kind of like about Big 12, Big 12 is a problem when it comes to the ground game. I can't stress that enough for everybody listening and watching. If you are a Colorado fan, whether you are new, whether you are watching your favorite Buff channel and they're bigging up, everybody's, yeah, we got another one, and people reviewing them and looking at whether you're looking at that, keep in mind this information is not some information to just be like, oh yeah, we got this, we're gonna win it handily. It ain't that. All right. Come back here and I want my apologies in all caps. All right. That's all I'm trying to tell you. Okay. Like I said, I want my apologies in all caps. But I'll provide this information so you can make up your own mind. All right, so we're almost done, guys. Let's go ahead and put the final touches on this. Go back to the schedule. So can anybody remind me what's the current record? Colorado beat them. West Virginia, they take that one. UCF, did we do everyone? Cape Cod, how do you have this?
Before you go to Houston Cougars, I just wanted to say something about why they got their quarterback. I think it's
no. I'm saying, how do you have the UCF taking this game?
I think Arizona can win that game. This is why I'm saying this. They had a 6-7 record in total, big conference. But their conference record was 3-6. Their points per game against opponents was 25.8, 61st out of 133 teams. Points against the 335 points. So points average was 31.30, 31.3, 42nd out of 133 teams in the nation. Or maybe in the So they were adjusting to the conference. I don't think the acquisition of this quarterback is going to jump them. He's a run first heavy. He's a run first quarterback. I think that's why they got him, because judging by what the other gentleman said about the game versus Alabama, he was slinging it, running it. But one thing, there's a caveat. He was arrested when he was in Arkansas. He was arrested.
Who was arrested?
KJ Jefferson.
The quarterback was arrested. Okay.
Yeah, he was arrested. I think April. So that's already another. So there's discipline issues. So
we don't want
going
to
into
do
a
that.
season.
We don't want to.
No, I'm not. No, I'm not saying anything bad. Look, I love the brother. All the best to him. What I'm looking at is why, because Arkansas, he wasn't in QB1. He was QB1, right? He was their main starter. Why would you let go your main starter from ACC conference to go to UCF?
Listen, if Arkansas is a sinking ship right now, and it's best to get out while you can.
Oh, okay. But I still have Arizona.
Can you elaborate a little bit more on that? Like, why are they a sinking ship?
Sam Pittman just ain't got what it takes to be a head coach in the SEC. He was a offensive line coach at Georgia for a while, worked his way up, got a head coaching job at Arkansas. We had we had the conversation before. Some guys are just really good coordinators. Everybody don't have what it takes to be a head coach, and I don't think Sam Pittman has what it takes.
Oh, okay. So guys are kind of like, hey, I'm trying to get to the NFL, man. I can't be messing with this dude right now, right?
So fun fact, they done snuck in. Tell them, Phil, they done snuck in the previous head coach that did the best at Arkansas as the offensive coordinator. So basically, they'd already got it where they're gonna fire his behind mid-season, and Petrino is going to take over. Why?
So hold the phone. Wait, they fired the guy before him, but then they brought him back to be a coordinator?
Okay, so here's how it is. Petrino got fired because he had a side boo on his motorcycle and had an accident, and they find out it was somebody that worked for him. So he hired.
Wait, slow this down.
I know. I know.
He had his side piece on a motorcycle and he got in an accident.
Yes.
His side piece worked for the team.
Yes.
Yeah.
Stop playing with me. What the heck is this?
Okay. But he got fired and then went to Louisville, I remember. Then he was the head coach at the Falcons before he went back to Louisville? I forget.
I think Falcons then Louisville.
Yes. So he went to the Falcons and then he went back to Louisville and did great, and then it just kind of, and he's now that dude is a good coach and he can call a doggone game. But yeah, to me, so he's now back at Arkansas. Yes, the school that fired him because he had a side piece on the motorcycle and was working for him. And then I think he's going to wind up taking over.
Why does side piece on the motorcycle sound so juicy? Like,
it was.
Hey.
Yo, I got Diddy. I don't know. What do we do?
So was this a Mel Tucker situation?
Man,
no, not a Mel Tucker.
Oh, okay. So the side
everything though.
So isn't it weird that they're bringing him back as an assistant? Like, what is that about? Is this an easier way to bring him in? Because then why get rid of a guy on some type of ethical violation?
This was years ago, though. This was like
this was
10 years ago. Yeah.
Wow. Yeah. Can y'all please qualify some of these conversations? Because I'm sitting here thinking like they fired him a couple of years ago and then brought him back on this. Okay. All right. So he served his time. That's basically why you're bringing him back. He served his time, right?
Right.
This is his second. It is okay. He get a second shot. Okay, I get it. All right. Can anybody remind me what the record is so far for our Arizona guys?
Just say 6-6 and be done with it.
I think it's 5.
Okay. Because
5-4.
They go. He said, "Come on, DC. You know we gotta do these shows. We gotta do it in honest." All right. So the take Houston, we're gonna all agree. The take TCU, we all agree, and the take Arizona, we all agree.
Yeah, I think that's a good way to put it. Yeah.
So
So
that's
we'll say
one,
It's more
two,
six.
three, four. Right? They got four, and then up here, 5, 6. So DC's right, 6-6.
DC fly helicopters. He's smart, man. Y'all need to listen to that man. I got your
DC
back,
Oh,
DC. You know
you
that,
saying
DC
that
man.
got the
goddamn
mile
fly?
high. DC got the mile high mileage. I see.
So you saying the only one that's smart around here is the one that fly helicopters?
Well, I just want to give him his flowers. That's all.
What? Where's the flowers?
Well, I'm gonna put you like this: if
When,
you
when
can't
is
be
that?
dumb and fly 'em, or you can't be dumb and fly 'em, or you'll find the ground real quick.
That's a good point.
um
Yeah, you can't be dumb and fly. That's a good
Yeah,
You
point.
can't be
okay.
dumb and
I
fly,
agree.
but you can
I
be dumb after
agree.
you can be dumb after you fly after you land the plane.
Oh yeah.
I get okay. I understand. That was a little shot, DC,
Yes,
but we'll talk about that
I'm
offline.
messing with you. I'm messing with y'all.
All right, so look,
Oh,
so we have okay. So in this evaluation, we said that Colorado is going to beat Arizona this year because Arizona their wins got broken, and they didn't bring enough to the fight. They didn't bring enough back to convince all of us, and that's why they're not gonna be the same this year. They're gonna be 6-6. So Phil and I, we're gonna be putting together some graphics information. All of these teams that we are evaluating, we're gonna have some type of board where we put everything on there, and then at the end of the season, when the season starts to go, if we're accurate in our teams, the things that we're saying here starts to work. That just gives us more credibility. It gives us more street creds, and I think we got a lot of street creds because we do our research. We look into these teams, we look at the data, we look at the transfer portal movement, and we see who's moving and who's doing what. So on that note, we're 20 minutes over time, but I want to get everybody's final assessments, and I want to start with my South African brother. And yes, I'm biased because he's African. Deal with it. All right.
they should come out, man. Ruby, they should come out, man. Come.
I want to start with
Yeah.
you. Give me your final assessment. Colorado's road to the Big 12 championship, which is going to be December the 7th. How this data shapes. Give me your final assessment on that, Cape Con.
Look, I'm gonna go up. Judging. Well, I have to look at every team now again. But we got a pretty good chance. I repeat, there's gonna be some tough games. We got a pretty good chance. I don't wanna lie. We have a good chance. The key thing is defense. That's what I think. I think if our defense holds up, their bargain offense, we can take on anybody, even with the wrong. Even if we've got run heavy teams. If we've got look, I trust that new DC of ours. He looks to have. Um, he's looking at our attributes as a team defensively and what we can do and use them to his advantage rather than what our last DC was doing, installing a package and making us work with the package that we should learn from what he knows. So I'm not really clued up as like maybe Phil and you guys, but I think we got a shot to win it. Look, we might take a loss here or there, but we can do this, guys. I think we can take the Big 12. I don't see no why not. To be
Uh,
honest, if our defense shows up, we can take the Big 12.
All right, that's a good assessment. All right, Phil. So real. What is your assessment based on Arizona and how we get to this Big 12 and today's video?
Yeah, Arizona is one of those teams I'm looking forward to watching this year. Wondering, how different they'll be with the changes with Fish leaving. As far as Colorado, you know, I I don't think this is the year for them to win the Big 12. But I can see a logical road or path to that happening. Um, but I just want to see how they adapt to the more physical line play of the Big 12. And I also want to keep up with recruiting, high school recruiting throughout the season to see what they're going to look like next year because I think this is going to be the year that they catapult into the team that we're expecting them to be in the future.
Do you think that the line play was more physical in the Big 12 than the Pac 12 last year?
I'm going to say yes.
Hmm.
I'm going to say yes. And I think it would be interesting to see them go like head to head, from top to bottom. I'm not saying that the Pac-12 wasn't good, but I'm saying if you're asking me which one is better, I would have to say the Big 12.
So I guess to interpret that information that you just said, having good quarterbacks who kind of air out the ball, you don't necessarily need to depend on the line as much. Is that a good assessment into that?
Well, you still need to have a good offensive line because, as you've seen, Shador can toss the rock, but you also need to have a line that's going to give them time. But I think that sometimes you will have teams in the Pac-12 that were just not defense focused teams. So it gives you an opportunity every so often on the Saturday to get those bigger stats because you're going against a team that's not defense heavy.
Okay, that's a good assessment. All right, so tennis, how what are your final thoughts on this information, this assessment, Arizona, and what we're doing overall, Big 12 championship?
I think we're doing really well overall. The team, like I said, you guys know how I feel about the team. They're coming together really well. They're going to gel really well together as a team. They're going to surprise a lot of teams. They're going to win. We're going to win a lot of games. Hopefully, I'm looking forward to them to be in the championship. And on that note, I would also like to say that if CU plays Alabama today, CU will win 30-27.
Well, you want to start some stuff.
Yes, sir, I do. And that's why I did that. And I have the data to prove it.
I won problems.
So Saban left? Exactly. Saban's gone.
I guess his data point would be because Saban is gone, but you gotta keep in mind that it's Deborah, right? That went over.
It's not up for discussion right now. This is the end of the show. It's not up for discussion. But
I just want to.
I am hard to find.
Oh, so you're gonna hide behind this ain't up for discussion.
I just got a quick quote in response.
Oh gosh.
To take offense when none is intended makes you a fool. To take offense when offense is intended makes you a bigger fool. So I'm not even gonna take debate with you. Really, we're not doing it.
Was I trying to offend? I'm trying to offend, and I was trying to spur something in you.
Can we get to DC? We're not supposed to be having no arguments in the final thoughts. DC, what are your final thoughts on this path to the Big 12 championship? Now that we've looked at. Well, hey, what number team is this? Let me go back real quick. What number team is this? Now that we are at
8.
We are at number 5. We are at number 5. Now that we're like almost halfway there, what are your thoughts on Colorado getting to that Big 12 championships? Yes, that's you, DC.
So check this out, Harriet. First, I want to say it's a scripture in the Bible where there was a young man who was possessed by demons. He would throw him down, throw him into the fire, and all kind of stuff. And I think more than likely,
are you going to drop the scripture reference, or are you just going to be talking like in the air?
No, I'm going to give you some Joel Osteen real quick. I'm not going to speak no scriptures. I'm just going to tell you what it is.
Okay. I'm saying if you're going to be a blessing, drop the address. Okay, you got to drop the addresses.
Well, the meaning is that more than likely that person failed and didn't know what they were thinking. They were just possessed. But Jesus came along and helped that person get in their right mind. So that's a prayer for a certain individual on the panel today.
Who is Jesus right now?
Oh my God.
I'm praying for someone to get in their right mind and clothe and give them some bread and be like, peace be with you, my child. That's where I'm going on first. Second, the second thing that I'm going to say.
I got to stop doing these shows. You guys are crazy.
You guys really laughing. The second thing I'm going to say is that really the only way, since you're going to go there, that CU will be at the Big 12 championship is in the stands. And you might want to get your tickets right now.
What are your final thoughts? Why are you rebutting in the final thoughts here?
That's what I'm talking about.
I'm not talking about no rebuttal.
Talk truth, DC.
I'm not doing no rebuttal. I'm not doing no rebuttal. I'm just cooking and closing out. I'm cooking and closing out.
Well, what if he didn't say that? What if he didn't say that? Then what would be your final thoughts?
I would have said, great show, guys. That's it. With a period on the end. Now, I will sit here and say this. It's that I'm looking at the team. I'm trying to provide comedic relief on there, but I'm looking at the team. I I honestly think looking at these teams so far, check this out, Harry, and I think we all can agree. They kind of are packed. The top nine are kind of packed in there. They're almost, right there on each other's heels on different things.
What
So
do you mean? The top nine in the prediction?
they're close. They're close in competition. They're close in what they have on their team. Now I would say at least top seven. So this again. I'm gonna say this is that I do watch Bama football, but I'm gonna watch the heck out of some Big 12. I ain't watching them play New Mexico Lobos at no 10:30, but I will. But I will be. I will be watching them. And I look forward to seeing great games. I can't give you a prediction necessarily on I can't give you a prediction on Colorado, but I think let's just watch and see. And a great show, brother.
Yeah. You said they're in the stands. Don't take it back now. They're in the stands. Okay, so you even quoted Jesus on this, so you cannot quote Jesus and then walk it back. Okay, Jesus never walked back. Okay, so don't do that. He didn't break dance. Okay, so at the end of the day, Colorado has the tools. Colorado has the Colorado has everything it needs to put it all together. And what could you guys hold on right quick? Elijah, 1 second.
Shout out to black fathers out there.
You ain't lying.
All right.
Yeah.
So
Daddy. I'm just messing with you. Go ahead.
Colorado has everything to win, to get there, but again, just like UCF had can beat almost anybody, it seems like UCF is like that. They're going, dark horse or whatever, and they had a tough time into this new conference. I'm not sure that Colorado is ready for this run-heavy conference to be able to just win it all out. So, and Colorado didn't prove to me last year that they could stop the run. So I don't know that if we get 12, if we get all Arizona's running the ball, if they won't give us the ball back, we get it one time, we score, and they will never give it back to us. Then what are we gonna do? What are we gonna do?
However, we take away the run, Harry. If we
that's what I'm saying. Steady. We got to take away the run. If Colorado
that's the issue.
So let's just say our first 3 games, or let's just say our first 2 games, we will know if we can stop the run, and then we'll come back and say, you know what? I know that Colorado can get into this Big 12 championship based on the fact that we can stop the run. Because I know that on offense we can hang with anybody, any team in the daggone college football. But again, we're only going off of what we did last year, and we don't know that Colorado is ready to stop this run. Because if a team is able to take 7 minutes off the clock and you can't get the ball back 7 minutes, you only right, 7 minutes. How many times you can't do that much if the team is keeping the ball for 7 minutes, and you get it back, you turn it back over within 2 plays. I mean, within 3 plays, you're out of there. So it's yet to be seen, but we'll see. So, if all hearts and minds, anybody had any final thoughts you wanted to say before I close out? Because I think we pretty much covered everything. I know. Was there anything burning on your hearts that you wanted to get out before I say we out of here? Oh, I have to say salute to Wild Dog. He gifted a TLP Sports Club membership. Whoever gets that, salute to you guys. Salute to Wild Dog for always holding us down. If he's not on the panels, he's in the chat holding it down. So,
Harry, I got a question real quick.
Yeah.
What's the special treatment that these members gonna be getting coming up in the fall, man?
You said the special treatment?
Yeah, I'm trying to get that VIP treatment, man.
They get all the picks from Willie. By the way, it will be Colorado. That's what you get in there.
You said the special treatment for the new members?
No, not just the not new members, just the members in general. Like, you know what I'm saying? We're gonna be able to come to the house and kick it and watch the game with you. Like, what are some of the
Oh
special
yeah,
things we
that'd be
got going
nice.
on?
Oh, but you know, Phil, remember, Phil, we're working on something where we have the members that are only going to be able to I think get some specific information about. I forgot what we were talking about offline, but
games. We were looking at games.
yeah, picking games and stuff like that. So I got some stuff like
Oh yeah,
that.
the pick 'em. Yeah,
Yeah, the
on
pick 'em and stuff like
ESPN.
that. So we're cooking up a few things for the members, and so yeah, I'll figure something out. But we're definitely gonna figure something out. I don't have anything specific yet, but trust me, we'll have some members only lives coming up where we can just go crazy on whatever we want to say for just the members.
Cool.
Any other questions? Because we out of here, man. Y'all go have a good weekend.
All right, man. Thank you, God, for putting up with my folly, man.
All right, man.
All right, guys. I appreciate y'all coming on for the new caller.
Thank you so much, guys.
Cape Con, I appreciate you. Tennis,
Welcome,
I appreciate you. DC, I appreciate you. Phil So Real, I appreciate you guys. You guys have a great weekend, and I'll see you guys on Monday Night Football. Peace out.
All right.
We out of here.
Peace out, man.
Bye.
Out of here.